Oh, see if it's going on the live stream?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, okay.
All right, thank you.
All right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, in the refrigerator.
You guys got in early and out of the shop. Early and out of the shop.
I know. All right. So Bobby is not making it. Bummer.
Yeah. Chris, could you just say something? Just.
Yeah. Hello. Testing. Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Testing. Testing. Good. Good audio.
Yeah.
Right now, I was going to be on TV. I was getting dressed up.
Yeah, I know, man. What's with the shirt? What's going on? You got the haircut though. You got that going. All right. Let's see. We're gonna check out the live stream here, guys. A second to see if it's working.
First live stream?
Yeah, first live stream. I mean, I've done it with somebody else and I watched it, but I've never done it for myself. Let's see. So that goes. Where's the?
Yes.
Live now. Here we go. Hello.
Computer as we are
Next
here.
here.
Let me know how I look.
Yeah.
You look fine, good side. Should I sit over there?
So is it just in the hold on the screen mode? Just
Yes.
check. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. You haven't turned the camera live yet or anything. All right, great. Yes.
Okay. Thing
Part
is,
1.
when he moves around, I don't have to jump in it. That's why it's important to get on.
Oh, whatever you want to do.
Say something.
Get better.
Let's see. I mean,
Hi there.
Well, I could move the iPad closer to you, or I could put it to your right over there.
I don't know things right.
Okay.
Let's.
Do you want to, guys? Lion, do you have your laptop up? I sent the morning link. Will you click on the link yourself too and do a little? Yeah, that to the live chat. You'll see that from the Launch Academy team, and then it's going to have you put in a little chat.
I think you'll be okay. We'll just switch whenever.
Okay.
What's the best way to do that?
I guess grab your food and just come back, and then we'll figure it out later.
That doesn't come out, because that's what happens.
Yeah.
If you want me to go down to the car and get
No,
there,
it's
I
just,
will.
it's just as good. So we're actually live streaming.
Just for a second. Ready? Ready?
You ready? Ready?
Okay, we're actually live now.
Oh, we are. Okay, excellent. All right.
So
Well, did he dip in there? Yeah. Good.
He did the crouch move.
He did the lion crouch
The
move.
lion crouch.
You guys ready back there?
Crouched.
Unlike the other one, it's when you guys chat or stuff, it's going to be a little hard. Sorry.
Say again?
It's unlike the other room. It's going to be if you're chatting, it's going to be yeah. We're ready to go. Okay. What? Don't think so. I think Lion and Chris are on. Yeah. I didn't necessarily expect any. You know, it's most people were gone. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome. Good morning. Good morning. Great to see all of you last night. Sorry we missed you last night, but glad you're here. And so this is going to be a very intimate final retreat. Looking forward to it. And so we've got an amazing agenda ahead for the next couple days. I've adjusted it knowing the group size, so I think you're going to like what we're going to do. It's going to be really a deeper dive because we have more time for each of you to really dig into your programs. So what I thought we'd do is go through the agenda a little bit and dive in. Yeah.
I have a request.
Sure. Yeah.
Can we do a grounding?
Yeah, absolutely. That'd be great. Would you like to lead us in that?
Sure.
Great. Thank you.
Okay. So, come to a place in your sitting where you're a little bit off the back of your chair and allowing your sits bones to be your guide for the sitting position. Close your eyes gently. And lengthen and deepen and appreciate the inhale and the exhale of your breath. And become acutely aware of this present moment, which means connecting to sensations. Sensations of sounds, smells, inner sight, inner feelings. Noticing the quality of your thoughts and allowing yourself to settle. And forming an intention for this day. Out of that place of settling. And then take a deep breath in and sigh it out. And one more. And bring the corners of your mouth gently up towards your ears and then gently open your eyes.
Thank you, Erin. Beautiful.
Thank you.
It was get landed, fully landed.
Yeah.
Thanks. Great, and that was a kind of perfect segue into the next grounding pieces to get us all present here with our voice and our intention. So before we dive into the work today and go through the agenda, love us to do a check-in, as we do on every call. And what I'd offer is in the check-in is just how you're doing, how you're feeling, where you're at, and then what's your intention for, call it for these 2 days, for the retreat. What's your intention for the retreat? And you just go around the table, and that'll get us all present, not only in our bodies, but also in our intention. So whoever would like to start?
I'll start.
Yeah.
My intention is, since I've already launched my program, and I'm in the sweep of it, I'm about a third of the way through the program, my intention is to learn as much as I can to plan for the next launch. So I've already been thinking, it's like, well, I don't want to wait until this one's over before I start figuring out the next thing. I want to begin, planning the next launch. So that's my intention, is to think that through and think about what do I want to do for the next phase of this work.
Great. Beautiful. Thank you, Lion. Welcome. Yeah. We'll just go around the table if that's okay. Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
My intention is to be here.
Accomplished. Done.
I'm a rock star already.
Yeah.
And to dive in as best as I can. I'm really keeping myself just like really easy with
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
Really easy, and kind of walk at the pace that I'm walking at right now. Just kind of walking into this really gently, because that's what feels the best to me.
Great.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Thank you. Welcome, Erin. Good to have you.
James, and I am excited because I've solved that issue I've been struggling with, which was about my 2 courses. And basically I flipped them. So I'm now going to take Breakthrough Circle, my signature course, and make it my lower dollar course and shorten it from 7 to 5 weeks, because it's much easier to get people in. Everybody wants a breakthrough. Whereas the inner child work, if people are already working with me, they're willing to go deep. So that makes sense to do that. So I'm excited about that. I've done my authentic messaging blueprint now for Breakthrough Circle, and I'm ready to massage the wording and get as much copy as possible. I also want to do some filming with Alan on Monday, so that's like putting a fire under me to move forward. So, and what I want to do with that is I want to have a video of the experience that I want my people to come through, and of course copy has to come even before that. So that's what I'm working on this week, is getting lots of copy out.
Lots of copy. Great. Good. Welcome.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's exciting. So, hi. Good morning, Chris. Kind of where I'm at is it's so funny. I'm really in this place that is in this shaky ground of what's happening out in the world and right here in our backyard. And it actually feels good to have y'all here. You know, I think it feels actually grounding to do this in person and on this weekend, because it's been, as some of you that live here, been really intense for a few weeks and longer with all the other things going on in the world. So I'm feeling that. I'm feeling raw and ready and open. It's bringing me more present. And then my intention for the work is, for the next 2 days, is really to hold this space for creativity to flourish, for ideas to come forth, and for you, all of you, to get more clear, for me to support your clarity, and really stand in that. Whatever the clarity is, I mean, you guys are all at different places with your business and your program, but what's the breakthrough, if you will, for you around your programs, or your clarity of your programs on these next 2 days. So happy to be here. Thank you all. It's going to be fun. I'm in.
Thank you for allowing us to come to your house.
Yeah, absolutely.
What Lion and Aaron said, it was just exactly how I was feeling. One, being grounded and present, and a lot of wanting just clarity. And I have been thinking a lot the past couple of days about where I'm going to go with my class, and have some good ideas, and feel like this is a good place just to talk about those and get clearer and come up with some good creative solutions to what I'm doing.
Great.
So that's my intention, is just to be present, to be open, and to go back with great ideas, and that's it.
Great. Welcome, April. Good to have you. Yay.
My intention for this weekend is to be productive
Mm-hmm.
and to focus on just this, not all the other things, and to move forward with it. But to do that without the expense of the personal inner awareness that I've also had tracking along with there's the outward productivity and this inward awareness in myself, which was part of my goal in the first place of doing it. So I want to be productive, but without just shutting that piece down. So I want to try to hold that dual awareness, but then not get distracted in that and not be able to be productive.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be a little balanced. Yeah.
Well, it's a good place to be. Thank you. Welcome. Welcome. Well, great intentions. Thank you all for bringing forward what you want from the weekend, what your intention is. What I thought I'd do is just a couple of introductory comments, and then I'd like to go through the agenda with you to get you connected to what I'm thinking about doing. The first thing that I want to say is that this is a creative. It's a creative lab right here, right? This is really the intention, as I told you on the phone, was this is kind of an implementation weekend. What that really means is just diving more into the nuts and bolts. Does that make sense? Rather than the big creative, and it's like, okay, do I have clarity on my webinar? Do I have clarity on my course? How am I moving forward on creating those pages? And so there's like a lot of it into the productive side of things. But it doesn't mean that it's still not, things aren't going to shift, right? So I'm very open to that. This is kind of part 2 of our retreat, like you're already made a flip, or and shifted. The next solution's new from the beginning. So we'll see. I mean, I'm hoping that most of you are clear enough on your idea now that it doesn't radically shift, but some of the wording and shaping and messaging may shift from what you're thinking here weekend. So that's one. It's sort of a creative lab. Second is it's a productive space to get into the nuts and bolts. So you leave here with a pretty good plan, because you'll see tomorrow we're going to have you put some stakes in the ground. You know, like, okay, I've got to go back into my dashboard. We'll do dashboard work, and I'm going to launch my course in May of next year. You know, give yourself that much time or sooner, so that you can leave here going, okay, got it. I'm making some commitments. Does not mean that you have to stick to that. It's just a way of putting a little stake in the ground for you. And the third thing is that it's going to be very collaborative. So what I'm excited about, because of our small group size, is shifting it to, from more of the small groups kind of coming together like we did last time, to really we're going to support each other mostly in the large group. And you're going to see with the approach and the intention is a masterminding kind of approach. So I think you guys are going to dig that. How many of you ever been in a mastermind group, a really official mastermind group? Okay, got it. You haven't. All right. So you'll see I'll be pulling from some of those ideas here. And I'm really excited about the collective wisdom here as well. Obviously, I know the structure well and all that, but you guys have amazing ideas, have done a lot of the online work in other ways yourself. So I'm excited to see what comes up in the group field. So I totally support that. So those are kind of some comments. This is, again, a perfection-free zone, right? So we just kind of gather and then see what lands, and there's no really wrong answers. You know, I hope you'll never hear me say, that's wrong. That is just wrong. You know? That is not good. I rarely ever say that. Sometimes I do when it's really, really wrong, but I say it in a very different way. So we'll really create a safe space to just kind of dive in. But you all have kind of mentioned it, that it's shifting from that creative into a practical plan, kind of a go forward plan. So that's where we'll kind of end up tomorrow. Yeah, just any thoughts or questions coming up before we actually move more and more into the left brain here? Yeah, Lion.
Did you want to welcome the people that are on the live stream?
Oh yeah. Are there people on the live stream other than you and I?
No, but I thought if there were, you might want to welcome them.
Oh yeah, and on the videos. I don't think there's anybody here, but hey, welcome if you are on the live stream or you're seeing this recording. Welcome. And we've got a great crew here, and behind the cameras, for those of you, is Alan, and he's kind of waving, but and Stu, right? Alan and Stu are here, so welcome. Any other comments or thoughts, high level?
How about low level? Would that be
Yeah, do you have a low level too? Yeah, like.
I'm tired. I wish I were sleeping.
Yeah, but you're here.
And I'm here.
Yeah, thank you.
Committed to being here.
Yeah, good. And Aaron, James, you always have something good to share. We were laughing last night about how it's great. James is always on it. He's got a great questions. And so, you know.
I do not ask questions.
Is that your
That's true.
affirmation?
Good. So you're good? All right, great. All right, now we get to shift a little bit more into a little more left brain work. So why don't you grab your agenda here. Let's go. We'll go through the agenda, and then we're gonna dive in. Get my glasses here. So the kind of done the welcome, the overview, the check-in, and so the first part this morning, what I'm excited to do is introduce you all to the idea of a mastermind circle, basically a masterminding process. And what we're going to do is focus on, in the masterminding, each of you is going to get an opportunity to look at your offer. And what I mean by your offer or your offering is the whole thing of the webinar that leads into the course. And we'll keep it pretty much simple to that, because as you know, the main deliverable coming out of this is I've got a webinar and I have a page for people to sign up for the webinar, and I have a course, and then there's a sales page for the course. And frankly, that's it. All the creative work we've done, all the pieces, we have those two things, and then we figure out how to drive traffic or send people to those pages, period. And then, of course, that's where the rubber meets the road, is that we got partners, we've got Facebook ad, we got email sequences, so there's a lot to it. But when it comes down to it, it's how am I generating or driving new traffic, either from my own list, from my friends, my partners, from social media, to encourage people to sign up for my webinar and then to register for the course. So when I talk about the masterminding, no matter where you are, we'll work with you, and I'll be, what's great about it is I'll be essentially the facilitator, right? So I'm the guy on the spot, which I'm excited about. Instead of moving you guys into groups and having me float, I'm going to be right there, right on it with each of you. And then I'm going to be asking for the wisdom from the circle, always creating the space for that. So that's like masterminding. Some people call it the mastermind hot seat. You guys heard that? You're on the hot seat. I was writing that last night and I go, I want it to be a little more gentle. I want it to feel.
A warm seat.
Yeah, what? A warm,
Hot couch.
hot, warm couch.
Warm settee.
Or a zafu, or just a slightly warm zafu, lukewarm zafu, right? So you are going to be on the zafu, if you will, the hot zafu. And that will allow us, what we'll do is we'll probably be using the flip chart. Hopefully you have your notes and or your laptop. We'll bring somebody up here, and I'll probably be here, and the person will be here, flip around. And then we'll want to capture at least, the title, subtitle of your webinar, if you have it. If you don't, then that's something we'll work on in the mastermind. And then the course, what's the basics of the course. We probably won't in the masterminding get too deep into the actual copy, but there's going to be some other time where you can kind of jot notes that come out of this, and really how is that going to apply to rewriting my copy in some way. When we start this process, we're going to have you work in small groups. Small groups is literally probably going to be 3 and 2. Or possibly even working on your own to prepare. We're going to give you time before the first person dives in. Do you know what I mean? Like to get your notes, get your laptop up, start thinking about organizing your thoughts for when you're going to be up here. Most of the morning and into the afternoon is going to be this. This is where we're going to ground. Everybody's going to have their chance to go. And we'll keep it lively. It's probably going to be 30 to 40 minutes each. So it's going to go quick. It's not going to drag. But as you can imagine, with 5, I thought we had 6, so it does give us a little bit more time. So we'll have plenty of time, and also to finish with today. Once we've gone through all those circles, and you all have some notes there, at the end of the day, we're going to have you present your offering. Like actually as if you were to share it in front of a group or verbally tell it, we'll have each of you come up here, you've done the work, and saying, hey, let me tell you about this experience that I have for you, and then here's the webinar and here's my course. So that's pretty much, and then at the end of the day, we'll have of course, what's the insight or the nugget for the day, or the things that you want to make sure you hang on to or hold on to, and we'll wrap with that. Then we have, of course, a little relaxed time, and then a dinner. And just a quick, can everybody stay and be at dinner today, or does anybody need your...
No, I've got a lot to do.
Okay, got it.
We'll see.
Yeah, it's optional, no big deal, but we'll just head into town and do a dinner. So that's the day, pretty high level. I mean, obviously when we get into the masterminding circle, you'll see more of how it's going to flow. But any questions right now about today? And then I'm going to quickly review Sunday. Erin, do you have something, or is there something coming up for you?
Just not being able to, I don't think I'm gonna be able to be there for dinner.
Oh, don't worry about that. But how about today? I mean, how are you, any questions or feeling?
I guess my expectation was that there would be more implementation time.
There, a lot of that's, oh, you mean like you doing it on your own?
Yeah.
A lot of that happens tomorrow.
Okay.
Because the main thing that I'm noticing with everybody is I want to make sure your offering is clear.
Okay.
Does that make sense? It's way more important right now, because you'll see when we get into April, there's still some question marks there. I know your webinar question marks. So that's, if we can ground and you all feel good enough that you have a title and a couple of bullet points of content, tomorrow we'll be more going into the dashboard, doing the planning and all that stuff. Yeah. Number one. Somebody's. Aha, nice. Just seeing here, Lion is watching. Lion is here. Just quickly seeing if there's any. Lion Goodman. Okay, great.
You're online. You're
No, I see you twice. Yeah. All right. So
doppelgangers here.
Any other questions on the masterminding process? Okay, great. All right, so let's quickly do Sunday. We'll review it again tomorrow. So this to kind of answer some of your questions, Aaron, or what you were thinking of is, so the morning is going to be this launch planning. So really, now I feel solid and strong that I've got those two pieces. Now we're going to go into the dashboard and have you start doing some work, like setting some dates. I want to review with you again the marketing plan, some of the other tabs in there. Because I don't know, like Lion, in your launch, did you use the dashboard or did you just kind of have your own checklist of things?
I referred to it, but I was running so
So
fast
fast,
and hard that I didn't have time to plan. I was just doing.
Yeah, exactly. And so what we'll do is we'll go in there and really make sure you guys are all clear on how that's a great planning tool and an organization tool. Great. And then in the afternoon on that is where we've got, or late morning is our expert faculty session with Jonathan Bender. Remember, he's the final one for us, and he's going to be talking about the fundamentals of being a great speaker, both online and in person. So I'm excited to have him here. I think it's nice to have an expert person that's live and he's going to do some experiential stuff with you all. So that's exciting. And then the final piece is another bit of the implementation, if you will, is the course in marketing technology lab. This is our lab. This is where we're going to go through, okay, what are my options for putting up my webinar page, and what are each of you going to use? Is it going to be WordPress? Will it be Lead Pages? Will it be Kajabi, right? And so part of the challenge is we're not all on a uniform. It's not like this is the platform you're going to be using. So this will be time in pairs or in small groups or as a group to really get into the technology and what's needed for the marketing as well. And that's it. So yeah, tomorrow is a little bit more of the practical nuts and bolts, and today is really the kind of getting clear on your offer.
I'm glad we're doing dashboard work because I want to use the dashboard. I love it, but I'm frankly overwhelmed every time I get in there. I'm like, too much. So
Yes.
I almost need to simplify it or something.
Okay. Yeah. Good. We'll talk about that. Yep. And in some of those, a lot of those tabs are just informational tabs.
Mm-hmm.
That really three tabs in there are pretty much the ones that you're actively using.
That's
The
what I need, that
milestones.
kind of guidance.
Great. Perfect. So yeah, a lot. We're going to dive in. We're going to get a lot done in these next few days, and we're going to roll with it. I know you're all at different levels and where you're at, so we'll just see what comes up when each of you are working. There will be some time to, particularly this afternoon, is to do some, just your own writing and journaling from what's come out of the masterminding. So we're going to make that space available as well. Good. Great. Okay, any questions before we go into the next piece here? All right. So here's what I thought we'd do is before the first person goes is would like you to work, and maybe you just want to work on your own. I'm flexible here. There's just 5 of us. So what I thought is you could work in small groups first. I've got some time allocated for that. Probably a good, almost a good 45 minutes. Let's see if we got...
Can I do something for 2 minutes?
Sure, yeah.
I want to invite, if you're okay, it's okay, I hijacked this. I invite each of you, if you would, we're just going to visualize your end product of what you're doing. So if you're open to it, because I'd like to do this for me, is imagine in the spring or imagine whenever you are ready to launch. And feel how that feels to have spent this 6 months working together, and then it's finally coming through, and where Lion is, we're actually just ready to launch, and we have affiliate partners perhaps, and maybe we're excited about the rush of adrenaline that this baby's finally being born, and then people start showing up. They start saying, yes, I want that for my life. The transformation you're offering, that's what I want. And so I'm taking a moment, because still it doesn't quite even fully, even though I've done it, it doesn't feel real yet to do it at that pro level that I'm wanting. I invite you to feel what it feels like in your body, to do it at the level that you want to do it. Feel it as if it's already done. look around and see who's around you on your team. You feel how the completion that's coming through, the relief that, wow, I actually did it. I actually followed through and launched a course. Feel what it feels like to have a course that you've launched. You have students who are paying you, who are grateful to be in your course. Just feel what that feels like in your body. So as we go into this next piece, we already kind of know where we're going, where we're headed, and why we're doing this work. Thanks. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
That's helpful for me.
Great, thank you. Yeah, I love the collective wisdom that's arising here with your grounding and your visualization. Thank you, thank you. So why don't we move you into two groups, one group of three. Why don't the two of you work and then the three of you around that table? And here's what I'd like to do. You have about 40, about half hour, a little less than a half an hour to basically get yourself ready for doing your mastermind circle. And what that looks like and what I'd like you to pull from your notes is what is my webinar? So what might that be called, even if you're not set on what necessarily your title is. And I mean, we've done some work on it, I know, in all the coaching sessions. But what that might be, at least a placeholder for it. What might be the 3 things you're going to teach, the 3 keys or the 4 keys or whatever. And then what is your, most all of you have this, what's your course title, subtitle, headline, and any little notes about how you're positioning that, you know, what's coming from your authentic messaging blueprint. Because what you're going to do is when we start the mastermind circle, we're going to have you up here and basically writing, or I'll scribe for you what those 2 pieces are, and then we're going to dive into a process of getting more clear. Okay, great, how about this or that? So mostly it's this title, subtitle, headline of both, and a little bit of your course outline, or the outline of the webinar, and maybe the bullet points of your 4 sessions or 5 sessions or 7 sessions. It's a little bit challenging. I mean, I was thinking we'd have, you know, some have notes. I'm thinking in my head is not everybody was going to be on a laptop and, you know, we could put it up on a screen. So it will be a little bit of scribing, but old school is fine here. So why don't you go ahead and do that now. You may want to start with about 5 or 10 minutes of just your own organizing and being ready, and then discuss in your group, you know, if there's any feedback you need to give each other or present to each other. Here's what I'm thinking. And I actually would like, actually it's about 20 minutes now, which is fine, All right. And if you have any questions, just shout.
Access in the bathrooms upstairs.
Oh, yeah, great. Thanks, Lion, for going that way. Yes, yeah. It is D1 Tigers, all lowercase. Oh yeah, here a bit. Okay, great. Got all the shoes here. That's great. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
we're preparing for talking to each other.
Yes, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And then ultimately preparing to be ready to present for your own circle.
Okay.
Right. So, and guys, I put just a little bit of instruction so you see it here is you're going to have 30 to 40 minutes each. Have ready basically for that webinar title, subtitle, or best you can, the 3 teaching points for that course title, subtitle, headline, and maybe a very high level of the course outline. And then you're going to present that. You know, we'll get it on the flip chart, and then we're going to start masterminding it.
And how much time do we have for this?
You still have about 15 more minutes, yeah. Yeah. Do you already, I don't even know if you have your webinar idea or
Okay.
concept for it.
Yeah, I do actually. I mean,
Great.
it sort of came to me this morning. So
Real
that's what
time
we're working on.
download.
Yeah.
Great.
It'll basically be a repeat of what I did before, but make it into a 5-week program and usher people into the bigger program.
It's a bigger okay,
Yeah.
great, great. Whenever you feel ready, you can share in your group of what you got or ask for feedback or if you have any questions to ask. And April, did we get to a place where you felt like you had a good webinar? I know we talked a lot about the course, but...
Well, what I did was, so what I started doing was looking to just go back to, okay, how to get teachers involved. And so it got to a point of, what do teachers want from students?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they want them to be ready to learn, to be respectful, to be critical thinkers, to recognize their strengths. So I felt like what I needed to do to draw them in, because this also relates to what I teach, is those tips on getting this done. Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah.
Like to get those things that they really want. Well, how do I do that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And get them into a webinar that kind of goes through some of that learning that leads into then going deeper.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I think that the tweak I would say here is would it make sense with teachers is some more of the focus being on how to engage the students more, not because this is sort of what you want from the students.
Yeah, but it's in how to get them to do that, like
Yes.
engaging them more in school.
Yeah, so think of the teachers that are like have frustrating classrooms and so
kids are coming in. And
so how do you engage them, because that's directly related to your content.
so engaging students.
Engaging students, something around
like
that. Yep.
Okay, yeah.
And
Yeah.
and with new hip, kind of what's the latest thinking on student engagement in the classroom, beyond the 3 R's, right? And then you think through what are the pieces, what are the 3 things you want to teach that have the highest level of engaging the students to be better learners or to be more,
Yeah.
more
But does
engaged
that
in their
make
life.
sense?
Yeah, I think so.
Like, kind of go through that.
Yeah, yeah, and we'll dive into that too, because I know the course. I got a good sense of your course, but
Yeah.
I know we were kind of light on the webinar.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's still, it's getting clearer, but.
yeah, right.
Chris, I'm trying to do my title, subtitle, headline from the webinar, which I
Mhm.
haven't really, because it keeps changing.
Yeah, right. New
So,
insights keep coming in.
I kind of don't know what to do, what I have here. I don't know if I have a subtitle or the headline or.
Well, and this is what's going to be good about masterminding. So kind of take your best take on it, and then we're going to work it. Yeah.
So if this is my title,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, this is my headline, I think, not
That's
my
more the
subtitle.
that's your headline. Yeah.
Okay, so this is just, we're not quite sure what's in the middle.
Your inner truth. Yeah. So that and embody your authentic self. I mean, it could be the subtitle could just be something that is reinforce. What is that? Like if I were to ask you, how do you describe
What you
it?
get if you do that?
No, that's more your headline. I mean, you
Okay.
can put a little bit of a spin on like the subtitle can point toward the transformation, but your headline is where you get to talk about here's what you're going to get.
Okay.
So embody your authentic self is meaning like could be opening, start with an ing thing of like opening yourself to
Okay.
to your true self. Well, you have authentic
Yeah.
self there, but something like that, and that's where we can mastermind that. But you're close enough to at least get started. So yeah, right now in the few minutes here is think about something short, about no more than 5 words, that really tells me a little more deeply about what does it mean to embody your authentic self. And James, with this new switch over, how are you with the webinar side of this since you've flipped it? The title, subtitle, headline of the. That's what you're working on.
Feedback on
Yeah. Okay. Great.
which ones work. Yeah, that's where I am.
And then Aaron, the document you sent me was the webinar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great. All right, you guys have about a little less than 10 minutes if you want to use your team or me or either way, if to get at least enough to be able to put something up here. Of course, we're going to dive into it together. But
You need me. Feedback.
I'm not, I don't even know what to ask. What about you?
What do you have? Why don't you share what you've got for start and just get share what you have and get feedback. Like here's what I'm thinking
I was
with
just
mine.
trying to get the main chunks together for
Okay.
that.
Yes.
Just trying to get all those main chunks, the first draft of all. I don't have all that, so I'm just trying to put all that together.
Oh, okay. You have most of it though, I think, right?
No, I don't.
Your course.
I really don't, because the webinar has been changing, so I haven't had a chance to actually just think about it.
Yeah.
So I don't have those pieces for webinar.
Okay. What I saw on the screen there is it's enough for the masterminding. You know what I mean? Just that you're able to put something. It doesn't have to be perfect. This is not about finished
Well, I know, but I
product.
don't have the pieces. I mean, I don't have the webinar turned out like that.
Yeah,
I don't have the pieces of the webinar.
No, you don't have to. You mean the
I mean,
three?
what
Oh, the
does
three
present
content
pieces
pieces.
mean then? Maybe I don't understand. Present what pieces of what, which part?
Oh, just this. Just the web. You have a title, subtitle, headline, which you have. If you know the 3 teaching points, what you plan to teach, we went through
Yeah, I
that.
don't have that yet.
We had some that we went through before. Okay, that's
That
fine.
was 2 webinars back.
Let it go. That
I'm
we'll
just trying to
we'll
get
figure it
back
out. We'll figure it out in the brainstorming. In the course title, subtitle, headline, you have that.
Kinda.
Sure, okay.
You
So-
do, and then the
so
course
what I'm looking
outline.
at is
I mean,
first-
my
first
course is,
titles,
yeah,
I
I
like
just
the
don't have the webinar.
course.
Yeah, all I'm looking for is those high-level things to make sure you're offering, and I know you have most of it.
I was leaning away from that
Not
first,
for
'cause
this
originally I was gonna
webinar.
use
That's
that
what
for
I'm
my
saying, is I'm
trips,
just
my
trying to
dream
think
trips,
through
so-
those items
and,
for this webinar.
But the
And I-
course title,
Yeah.
subtitle, headline,
Um,
that's done, right?
The
Yeah.
webinar's
I'm
not.
trying to go like breakthrough
Okay.
journey, which is already taken, I don't have any,
So I'm just trying to
something about
take
journey,
it in
which
and
I
think
want
that,
something fun.
Got it.
like, what is it
Not
gonna
quite
be?
so much work, more fun. So I was thinking breakthrough adventure, discover and liberate your wise, deeper self. So I don't know if it's an exact match, it feels like maybe it's a little bit off, but it's a 5-week journey to cultivate the specific breakthroughs you need to feel deeply connected to yourself, tap into your inner wisdom, and successful in relationships.
And Lion, what's your webinar? Or what's
Leading up to
the?
that, maybe
It's
um,
3
breakthrough
powerful tools
power
for clearing
tools,
your
but I was
client's
concerned it
limiting
sounds too
beliefs and
masculine.
healing childhood
Because
wounds.
my
Okay,
avatar is
so similar to the one
feminine,
you did,
so
just more.
that's my concern.
More elaborate,
But I
slightly
like
Okay.
the idea, I mean, because then I
What
thought
is
I'll
it?
pick my 3
Can you
favorite
say it again?
tools.
Yeah, 3
And-
powerful
and
tools.
the
for
other thing I could
clearing
do
your
instead would
client's
be
limiting beliefs and
clarify your
healing
breakthrough.
childhood wounds.
And I'd be focusing on, because the
Right.
ideal about that is that we
The
get them really
thing too is, just so I'm sure, is that you're going to create this shorter program that's still for coaches and therapists and others. You're going to stay with that avatar, right? Great. So not open it up to the public. Okay. Great. Great.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it'll be a 5-week program, and it'll be preparatory for, moving people into the Rivers Coach Training.
Great.
Yeah,
Great.
Yeah, I was wondering, see that, I was thinking that too, I was wondering.
Great. Okay. Cool.
Okay, like, I'm actually gonna get.
Like,
Like,
handsaw, I wanna get
like
it.
in thinking of what I'm doing, I like how
Yeah, I
like
like
the
the
3
imagery,
powerful
actually,
ways,
you know, it is
like maybe
masculine.
Mhm.
that's like the
I've been using
3
tools the whole time. the
powerful
idea of tools.
ways to engage
Yeah.
students in
The
the
other things I
classroom
have
or
would be,
3
Let me
something.
see.
Mhm.
I kinda, I
My
like
own
that.
clarity,
I
growth
like
plan,
the.
life transformation.
Yeah, and that's good.
People respond to that.
Yes.
GoDaddy's
Yeah,
wet
they
dream.
love it, you know,
Oh,
I know,
And you
I
can
know,
still
yeah.
use
I
the
am.
3. You can use
Right
3
on that.
principles, or you can
Really
use the
So,
3, just the 3
So I have a
keys, or the
PowerPoint
3
So,
Secrets.
3 core
starting to get
tools,
to-
or something like that.
Secrets
Um,
always good, people wanna know.
So
this.
the other,
Yeah.
just the other thing.
Yep.
to-
The 3
I have
secrets.
3
cultivate
secrets
your
to
breakthrough, nurture your
engaging
breakthrough,
students in the
clarify your
classroom, you
breakthrough.
know.
Yeah, something like
Cultivate
that.
my work.
Any of those
Cultivate
are
your
fine.
breakthrough, and that's what I
Yeah.
tend to go with.
Yeah.
So,
You know, cause
like,
the
I
one
could say, but if
thing
that's cultivate your
that
breakthrough,
kept coming
that's the
back
name of
to
the
me
course.
was,
It
and
tells
the piece
exactly
that I
what it
think
is we're
is so
doing.
key,
Cultivate your breakthrough.
or
Discover
maybe
and
it's
liberate
just so
your
top of
wise.
mind right
course,
now
yeah.
is
This
the
is the way.
integrity piece,
Yeah,
like
this would
Brock
be the one
Turner,
it is.
you know, and
Um,
going away to college and
well, I
what
can
they
go either
do
one, I
with
just have to
Penn
decide.
State, the fraternity,
Yeah, I just need to,
was
I
letting
need
this
two.
guy go
I need
and
two.
You need
So
Good.
I need one for a webinar, I need one for a
Right,
course.
right.
So
Mhm.
my thought was
nobody did
breakthrough
anything
adventure
about
would be
it,
the course.
so I
Okay,
just
okay.
always
And
thought
then, so
that
this would be
whole
my webinar.
integrity
Okay.
piece.
So cultivate your breakthrough.
I don't know what the
nurture your
feeling is
breakthrough,
out there
nurture is
on
feminine, so
what I
maybe-
can do as a teacher
Cultivate
to
is-
make sure
is,
things like that don't
more,
happen.
Mhm.
You know, I don't know if
Mhm.
there's a,
Yeah, and
oh my
that's-
God, how are we
so I
gonna
like
help these
cultivate.
students
I like cultivate.
And I
become
like breakthrough
mature
power.
adults?
Yeah,
So
that's
if
that's a
you
good
were-
angle. I mean, you don't want to be like anything that points to preventing something with
Yeah.
kids. It's more stay in the empowerment side
Yeah,
and stay true to your leadership thing. Is
Oh,
that
I was thinking
part of the
this was
engagement
name
is
of the
engaging students in their
title.
lives, not just in the material of the of learning,
Yeah.
right? Because you're always taking them back to these leadership principles.
right.
So your engagement tools should be around, you engage them in their life, right? You're
Yeah.
engaging them about how to be
Some courses are verbs. at the
Like
beginning,
better
learners.
decisions. Yeah, lifelong learners, better citizens, basically. I don't know however you want to say that. I don't know how you say that.
I've involved in the
Breakthrough
group
Adventure.
that is applying
Breakthrough,
similar
like-
principles in the corporation.
Okay.
And it's called
Yeah,
self-leadership.
but I'm
So
thinking
if we can get
cultivate
people to
your,
become their own leaders of
cultivate your-
themselves and understand what leadership is
Yeah.
inside themselves,
Breakthrough
then they're gonna be able to
power
also bring that to their
I'm feeling
families, to their,
subtitle there.
That's
their,
exactly
I don't
what,
know, see what they have to say.
eventually to the workplace.
You know, you can certainly bring that up,
So,
but,
that's the whole idea of what
Because-
I'm trying to do.
right, I know, that's why I'm bringing it up.
Yeah.
Great.
cultivate your
Yep.
breakthrough.
It's
Well,
just starting
actually,
in.
this is my-
It's called self-leadership in that realm.
A 5-week journey to
By
cultivate
the
the
guys
specific
I'm-
breakthroughs you need.
I'm
to
thankful.
people. That doesn't mean that I can't
Mhm.
still use it for
Right,
my other
sure
one.
they can.
Phrase
Title.
that works
Um,
for, you know, how do we get
breakthrough,
kids to self-lead
breakthrough.
rather than be led, you know?
Yeah,
Mhm.
mature,
breakthrough,
like mature, I used to do,
breakthrough leap.
the whole way I started was in doing
Also,
bully
breakthrough
programs,
incubator, I
anti-bully,
don't
which
really
I
like the word
don't,
incubate
I
very much.
wanted to get out of that.
People don't resonate so
But,
much.
The-
It's-
it was
it's
really
corporate-
mature leader that
Yeah.
really led the
But it, I
class,
mean, it's,
and I always
used
thought
in
if
the
we
right
just
context,
can
it's powerful,
teach
but in
that,
this, it's
that
standing, it's not
leader,
standing on
that
its own.
immature leader,
So you
how
said
to
you
really
what?
take the lead with empathy,
Transformation.
empathy and compassion, the whole
BreakthroughCircle.com.
results
Brett,
of
which
what
is
happened in
my
the classroom would
website,
change.
company. BreakthroughClarity.com, Clarity Blueprint.
What about
It's a
breakthrough
basketball
clarity?
called,
What about breakthrough
I've
clarity?
thought about it.
And then,
It's not
and
on
then
breakthrough,
power,
yeah, BreakthroughClarity.com.
and then 5 power tools to,
they were
or
also-
3 power
they're
tools
an
to
anti-bully
cultivate your.
program. What they do is they,
No, because that's what I really
they
want,
work
is
with
I want them to
teachers
leave that
and
first
the
one with
staff to
clarity, oh
identify
man, there's a lot
Yeah.
to get. And I want them like, there's some
And
new areas
those
that I have
people
not even
together,
explored, that's what
and
I
they
want
do,
to-
you know,
Uh-huh.
powerful processes together so that they get to know each other. And then
Clarity.
all of a sudden, the bullying just
And
goes
that
away
is-
because the leaders are acting in
and
a
I-
way to their compatriots.
Yep.
Something about cultivate,
So,
or, it's
cultivating-
really, breakthrough clarity is
breakthrough.
about
Is it cultivating, well,
cultivating.
Will mature.
Well,
everybody
something
else 'cause
about,
they're leaders, everybody's looking up
3
to them, right?
bright
Or their coach is
power
looking up
tools
to them.
to,
Yep.
If they act
to
differently,
cultivate
then
your-
that changes things.
Right, that was always what I thought
I
the
wanted
right
more like
solution was.
getting
Like
clarity
cultivating a peaceful
around
culture.
the map with the
cultivating
next steps, or like,
Right.
oh, these are,
Like
But
that.
you're
This is-
offering
So I
That's
think they
interesting.
Yeah,
call it-
totally.
I think they
Right,
call it
so
peace
people,
ambassadors
like,
to
you're
come
actually
to
gonna
their
do
organization.
something
Yes,
around
no,
that.
totally,
Matters.org, it's
So,
community
so that's, I think, and it's sort of be like,
you might wanna look
oh,
it up.
power tool, like, there's,
But
it's
they're-
something
they're in, like,
appealing about getting
600
something done.
schools
Yes.
around.
And then
Okay.
the next thing, of course,
Very,
is the course.
very
Yes.
effective.
yes.
Yeah,
So, is that helpful?
because that to me is exactly how you solve the problem.
Yeah, I'll have to like
You
massage
find
it.
the
Yeah.
people who are immaturely.
I want them,
what
like,
happens
breakthrough
is kids,
clarity,
They
and I think the
do
first
the
little
most
bit
immature
needs to be
things to
something
take the
about
lead and it works. So
getting
there's no
clear
reason for them
about,
to change their strategy if they're in
you know,
charge.
the process or
Right,
your
so it's
path
like if you just
to
take them
breakthrough.
and teach
And
them
then
better tactics
actually,
and a
getting the
better
tools
way
needed
to take the lead.
So just a couple more minutes and
That's good.
just kind of get
So
your,
my webinar title right now is,
Did you tell me
3
about this
Brilliant
once?
Keys to Resolving Your Neck.
Unitymatters.org.
I'm taking you from pain to freedom.
Community.
Brilliant.
Communitymatters.org.
Doesn't seem to.
and I think,
I
and
know.
for April, when you get up to do yours, I think really the key is going to be still staying around self-leadership, leadership, even for the kids. So it's both engagement, but it's helping them grow into their leadership. So it might just be as simple as the 3 keys or the 3 secrets to helping teens lead in their life. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
3 keys to
And
remaining.
let the teacher get excited about that, oh, here's something different that's more life skills
Okay.
Sure.
than it is, because remember, I pulled up your notes here. We're going to go with you're basically teaching teens to lead, inspiring teens into their highest potential. So you just get to play with almost the same theme. It's just what are the 3 keys for engaging them in the classroom with this idea of self-leadership, of stepping into their own power and decision-making and standing in their own, you know, their own, what they want for themselves rather than peer pressure, whatever you have there. How does the teacher, what are the 3 keys for them to engage them with this in the classroom? Of course, it's hard because then you're saying, well, I've got the curriculum for you to do that, but at least you can give them the principles or the secrets for how to bring that in and work with the students in that way,
Yeah.
right?
Integrated, right.
And still around leadership though, right?
Yeah,
Because
right.
it needs to have that bit of like that, how can we help teens learn how to lead better in their life and with their friends and everything?
Yeah. And not be a follower, not be the sheep.
Yeah, and not too big of a thing like this is all about helping society and more peaceful, you know what I mean? It's still got to be around that you as a teacher get to be the one to be that inspiring teacher that changes that kid's life.
It's
Yeah.
true.
And you had that, remember, you had that sometime in your life, you know, so. But the inspiration for you now is less about it being about history or English,
Right.
but more about how can I help the students
because it has the
make
same
better
feel as Revolutionary,
decisions,
but without
grow
being
up,
scary.
you know,
Yeah,
be,
grow up, yes.
grow up in the classroom.
Yeah.
And I it's hard, right?
Yeah,
You know,
it is.
we've got this narcissistic culture
Oh, man.
that we're in, and the kids get it too.
I think I've seen just my tenants are
So these
the
are
year
DIY
after college,
houses.
you know, they're right out of college kids.
Yeah,
And you see,
So, or discover.
The entitlement that goes on.
Right.
Interesting.
right,
it's like,
How to move from
that's right.
where did that
being
come
trapped
from?
in your neck.
Yeah,
Like-
well, and this is exactly what you get to help teachers kind of sort through is how do I, in a positive way,
Yeah.
teach them to serve, you know, to be more grounded in themselves, to serve others, to step up, to feel a sense of purpose, even as a teenager, right?
Yeah, because
That
it
all
is-
gets us out of our narcissistic and entitled ways when we really look at how am I serving others.
I know, that's the whole part of purpose in my book is stewardship
What
and
about from trapped
not
to moving
what you're
freely?
doing for yourself, it's how you're
Mhm.
giving your
And
gifts to
discover
others. You
Right.
know what it
how
is to give it
to-
back.
Right.
I know.
Any, Christina, how you doing over there? Any?
Discover how to move.
I do like the
Is that
three
how neck
powerful
people
three
definitely, do they feel trapped? Is
something
that the feeling?
for a webinar name.
Mhm.
You're not gonna be able to read, but like three powerful ways, three secrets, three
Stiff is
something
what I feel. Do they complain of being stiff or is it?
for a
Yeah.
webinar
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
title. Just because I think it sounds simple.
Yeah, I know. Well, the three, either the three, just even the three keys or the three secrets I like too is the three classroom secrets to
I'm just trying to figure out how to catch it so that
help
I'm like,
kids, to help teens,
trapped.
To
Actually, I like
to
it. I
engage
like it.
teens in their
So
leadership
let me
or
get
something. The
the
three
next
classroom
solution.
secrets to,
Healing your neck pain safely and effectively.
Discover how to move
yeah.
from feeling trapped
engage
and neck,
teens in leadership.
trapped and moving freely, and able to do what you love. I like that actually.
Okay.
Yeah, you should do that.
What's this word here? To,
Engage.
oh, engage. Yeah, engage. Yeah.
So then module one is
I
setting
thought,
up for success,
engage.
like what you need to know and how you need to. The second one is actually discovering your inner landscape, which is the
Three classrooms.
Empower.
third module is.
Yeah, that's what I was
Power and
thinking.
overuse.
Yeah, it's kind of overused. I mean, but sometimes it's the only word that'll work. But the three classroom secrets to,
What about
you know-
three classroom hacks?
do teachers think that way? Your
I don't
avatar?
know.
I don't think your avatar necessarily thinks
But
that way.
Kids, are they still, they're like going into hacks?
Yeah, I know we had some variations of what your headline would be for your course, but you could borrow some of that for this. Is like something about the three classroom secrets to
Yeah.
to
Does that sound good?
to leading to supporting teens into their true leadership. You had this idea of true leadership,
Yeah.
or
So,
to inspire teens into their true leadership.
so how to be, so discover how to move from being trapped to neck freedom.
And always as a default, when people are just struggling to get started, it's usually I just go with keys as
Yeah.
a starting point. So the three keys to what, and then to helping teens lead,
You don't
I
have to
think
have the.
help teens into their true leadership, or to support teens into their true leadership, something like
Or
that.
help.
Because it doesn't have to be secrets and stuff if it's too, if that doesn't fit your avatar, you know? Yeah,
Yeah.
But,
I like those. Those are good.
Okay,
great.
Thank you.
There is one down here if you want, and then there's upstairs. I think Lion's complete upstairs, but we are going to choose somebody to start. Do we? You guys ready to do that, or need a quick? We're going to take a break in about a half hour, but just yeah. And what do you think about going first, Lion? Are you
I'm happy to go first.
happy if we go first? Okay, good.
Thank you.
Oh, sure. Somebody's got to be the lead.
The leader, the lead gurus. Gurus.
Okay. So I'm just going to, while people are using the restroom line, I'm just going to get started here with you.
She's doing mushroom farming now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she's,
Like
I don't know,
psychedelic kind of
yeah.
mushrooms or?
Those two,
mush-
but mainly no, that's her interest, but no, she started working for a guy, Mushroom Farms, who did mushroom farming in a cave. And, she bought out half the, what he's doing.
Hey, Lion, why don't you come up on here?
She's
So we're right
interested.
next to each other and bring your laptop.
But ultimately, she wants to start a retreat center.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you really want to do that, you need to know how to do. I can't believe because she like kind of lets us go.
Right in here.
And it would have been the best thing for her
Yeah.
to do that. So
Yeah,
she moved on, which was the time. But she's doing really well.
All right. Do you want to do it or want me to do it or?
Stand or?
No.
Probably 6. I'll scribe for you so you can be more.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you want to sit, stand either way, but I'll scribe for you.
Okay.
But at least for this piece, do you want to write it up or do you want me to write it? So what's your webinar title?
It's long.
Oh, it's long.
3 powerful tools
Yep.
for clearing your clients' limiting beliefs.
Okay. That is long.
And healing childhood wounds.
Wow. Okay. And healing childhood wounds?
Yep.
Okay. We're gonna work on that. And then do you have a subtitle or
Yes, it's even longer.
it's even longer. Okay. All right. Is this the subtitle or the headline that you're saying?
That's the title.
No. I mean the one that you're gonna
Oh.
tell me. Is it a headline or is it the subtitle?
Headline.
It is a headline. Okay. Right.
Learn to dive deeply
Mm-hmm.
into the subconscious mind
To dive deeply. Okay.
and open a channel
Right. Sorry. Into.
into the subconscious mind
Okay.
and open a channel for healing.
Sorry. Conscious mind.
Nobody cares how it's spelled.
And yeah, I know it's subconscious mind and what?
And open a channel for healing
Okay.
at the deepest level.
Okay. Period. There.
Yeah.
Okay. Line. Okay. All right. And then let's get your and then the course.
Course
Okay.
title is the Clear Beliefs Coach Training.
Okay. Beliefs. Coach. Just
Coach
coach.
training.
Coach training. Okay. Yep.
And then the
Is there a subtitle to that?
subtitle or
Not a-
heading is, I
What?
get mixed up between them. So,
Subtitle should be short. It's a short to. And the headline is always discover the blah 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 blah.
okay, so this is the headline then.
Okay.
24 dynamic tools.
Starting with that's your headline. Just is there? Well, let's just start with discover. Discover the 24.
Oh, I see. Discover.
Yeah, the headline. So yeah, we're gonna probably have to work on the talking about this title, subtitle, headline.
Yeah.
And discover the what? 24
Discover
tools.
24 dynamic tools for clearing limiting beliefs
Okay.
and healing childhood wounds.
Beliefs in healing childhood wounds.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And that's it, or no more?
That's it.
That's it. Okay. Got it. And then no subtitle under this one then.
I don't have one yet.
Okay. Got it. And the and then remind me the length of the course is
The webinar is 5 weeks and the...
not the webinar. The webinar is 90,
okay,
75
yeah,
minutes.
The course is 18 classes in 12 weeks.
No. This is your 5-week thing.
No, sorry, that's my webinar.
Wait, then what's this?
That's my 5-week program that leads into the course.
Oh, you need a webinar. What you're going to build forget about your course. You need to have a powerful 5-week course, and you need a 75-minute webinar that leads into your course.
Okay, I got it.
So yeah, so the 3 powerful tools makes sense. That's a webinar language, right,
Yeah.
Lion? So
Yeah.
this is webinar-ish.
Okay.
And then what would be the 5-week course? Because that's why when you said the Clear Beliefs coach
All right,
training,
so-
yeah.
So this is my 5-week course, and the webinar will lead into the 5-week course.
Okay.
So this is the 5-week course.
This, even with this, were you saying 3 powerful
Well,
tools for clearing your...
My previous webinar was called 3 Powerful Tools for Clearing Your Clients' Limiting Beliefs, so
Right.
that was the webinar.
That was the 75-minute webinar.
Yeah,
Okay, let's keep that line.
yeah.
We just need to keep that. Don't worry about the long course. We can figure out how to market that later with something else. But if you think this is the most powerful lead-in to your 5-week course, then let's make this the webinar, right? Because this is basically what you delivered last time as
Right,
a
that's
75-minute webinar.
Yeah, that's right.
So, like you said, so can we leave that as the webinar for now?
Sure,
Okay.
sure.
So then the challenge, though, is what's in the middle here is, because this is, if you're going to teach 3 powerful tools here, then can your online course just be, even if it's the first 6 weeks of your longer program, but we're not going to, this is what you call the longer program, right?
Right.
So we might have to do the work of what's your 5-week course then?
Right, okay, so.
This is simplified.
I
This is
understand.
3
I
tools.
understand.
Yeah,
I
okay.
understand.
Okay.
I was thinking about it differently. So, so the webinar I've already done, I had what,
Yeah, good results with it, right?
280 or something people sign up for the webinar.
Yeah.
And I got 24 people for my course. And then I sold, on your recommendation, I sold the first 6 classes as the intro course.
Right,
I
right,
got 3 signups. One of them is converted to the full course.
right. Okay.
So I think that's a good plan for me. Because
Yeah.
that way I don't have to do 2 different courses. I can just say, hey, you can get in on the intro.
Yeah.
First part of the course.
So remember, we're always going to come back to the overcomplication piece, right? With so we want to be really clear that the offering that you have now, that's an introductory experience, is fully self-contained. Does that make sense? So even if you pull those 6 weeks out, are you willing to just have that be this introductory experience and then figure out later what might that coach's certification program might be a little different or a little longer? Does that make sense? Like your best stuff is in that 6 weeks becomes the complete course in and of itself with a webinar that leads into that.
Well, I can do that, but why? It seems to me that that's complicating it, because the first 6 weeks is actually very powerful, and it gives people the tools that they need to start with, and then they just continue on and get the next set of tools.
So the challenge that you have, Lion, is that you have a high-end program that we have, I guess we need to decide what you want to do, because you can create an introductory program that's $300 or whatever.
Yeah.
You've seen that 1,000 times with the Shift Network. If you want to do that, we need to talk about that webinar that leads into that thing that's totally standalone. Doesn't connect to your long program. Or we figure out some structure here that basically you're going to just relaunch this basically just as you did into your more expensive program with that little mini course up front that they can take as as they're going into the main program.
Right. Well, why not just take my 6-week program, the first 5 weeks,
Yeah.
or 6 weeks,
Right.
and sell it independently,
Yes, that's what I'm asking, yeah.
and then for those who took it and want to go on, they buy the next level of the course. So
Yeah.
it's level 1, level 2.
Yes, yeah.
And those who want to jump into level 2 but miss level 1 can take it by recording, or I could offer it again or something.
Yeah, the only challenge, Line, is it gets complicated if you're using the 6 weeks to go right into upsell them into the main program right there, versus like we were saying, let them digest that and then you launch the full program a month later, the longer program. And you might have to create some more content to make that a little better for you. So so I'm going to put it back to you guys. So here's the
Shift Network sells short, powerful programs like
5 weeks,
Kelly's,
5, 6, 7 week programs.
Right.
Yeah,
And then that's their bucket for selling the more advanced program.
I understand.
They
Yeah.
don't. They may try to sell people into the more advanced program on the general list, but their primary focus is the bucket of people that 300
Right.
or 400 people who took the first course.
Exactly. So just so we're on the same page, though, that longer program you would want to sell later, not as an upsell during the 6 week course. Does that make sense?
Why?
Because they're not. You'll find that if you have the 100 people in your 6 week course,
Yeah.
They just need to get all the value and digest that and then decide, are they ready to take that next certification step?
What's the difference between that and between
Well-
saying here's the next step
And just do it.
waiting 6 weeks and saying, here's
So you're
the next
saying you
step?
want to stack it right on it, right after it?
I'm
Like,
just trying to understand the
Is
advantage.
it better
of
to
doing
sell
it
from the
this way.
stage? That's basically selling from the stage. When you got them, they're captive audience.
Yeah, well, so let's get your feedback, James. So since you're in it, if Lion does this 6 week and basically promoting the 6 weeks on his sales page, does he also put information about the longer program? This is where my brain is going.
That's where I don't know about that. What I do know is that when I have people in my class, I got 10 people in my class, I can usually get 5 to 6 of them to take Breakthrough Level 2.
Mm-hmm.
Because they're right there, they're present, they're in touch with the value.
But was the initial sales page showing all of that?
No.
So here's my challenge, Lion. I like what you're saying, and the timing is it, but again, a confused mind is a mind that doesn't buy. So when you
Good
create,
quote.
well, yeah, and so when you create more stuff that you think is awesome,
Yeah.
you tend to get people that freeze and don't know how to process your sales page that has the 6 week thing, plus you're already talking about the long thing. So
Yeah,
what
but that's easy, you just create 2 pages. I mean,
it's
two-
not,
I mean, just 2 separate pages, one for the 6 week program and one for a level 2.
yeah,
I
yeah, yeah.
get that.
Yeah, so I know we're dancing around this, and because I've got a certain thought in my head, and let me see if I can.
I want to have 3 options for my course because I want to have a high-end option. And you're
Yep.
trying to tell me to only do 2.
Watch.
So-
Because there's schools of thought that are saying that, if you give like levels to something, that then people will choose
The middle one.
the middle one,
Yeah.
Yeah, usually it's additional support. It's not necessarily another longer, more advanced program. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I get the silver, the platinum, silver, gold, platinum level,
Yeah.
which gives me more support,
Right.
but not a whole new program that I have to think about.
So Diane Poole-Heller, who teaches attachment theory, she just announced a 4 level program.
Mm-hmm.
And you can take one or all of them, and they're $750 a piece. So this is
Right.
professional training for psychotherapists primarily.
Okay.
So it's a kind of different, right? So
Mhm.
remember I'm selling to coaches, this is a professional training, it's not selling to the public.
Yes,
So
I
it may be
understand.
different.
Yes,
than
I hear
the
you.
Public thing,
And that's why I'm going to try to see if I can understand where you're wanting to go and see if it makes sense.
yeah.
Is it $750 for each course, or do you get a discount if you buy more than one?
Yeah,
Buy 3,
yeah,
get a 4th.
Yeah, you get a discount if you buy all 4, but the point is that it's, level 1, level 2, level 3,
Yeah.
level
You can see it
4.
all
Yeah.
unfolding in
Right.
front of them.
Right.
It's like thousands.
And how much would if you pulled off the first 5 weeks or 6 weeks?
Yeah.
If you pulled that off, what would leave the next level is just 6 more weeks? Would that be, or would it actually be longer when you get to the
Well, it's
advanced level?
18 classes, so it'd be double the number of classes, so it'd be 12 more classes.
12 more, okay. So this kind of call this a 12 module, I guess?
Level 1 and level 2.
Expanded version.
But I'm just trying to differentiate them out more rather than just kind of lump them in as like, oh, you get this first part. Like somebody could end, what I'm saying is somebody could end here and be fine. Right, Lion?
Yeah, so, okay, another
See-
model is
see
the
what I'm saying?
Avatar course, right? The Avatar
Yeah.
course, they sell their weekend program,
Right.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday, for $295.
Right.
And at the end of that program, they say, now all the really good stuff is like if you continue for another $1,200.
Yeah.
And so people will stay the full 10 days to get the 3 plus the 7.
I get, and that's where we're trying to decide. So follow my webinar to 6 week course
Yeah.
to possibly end, but
Yeah.
then at some point you offer the advanced course,
Right. Yeah.
separate page and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Or what you're saying is you could have one sales page that says, here is the introductory course, and you can sign on to add this module if you're really clear and just let them buy it at the beginning.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that work really well, but I'm saying I'm open to that. And you get what I mean, the difference there? Because I'm really thinking about the sales page. When you come out of the webinar, what are they going to see on the sales page? Are they going to see the full gamut? Or are we just going to really have them land and sign up for the 6 week course, and then later you upsell them to the advanced course? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's later.
Yeah, I don't have an attachment to either method. You know,
Right.
which one works better is
Right.
is my question. So,
Right.
I don't have to sell level 1 or level 2 at the same time. I can just say, here's level 1, and then
Right.
at
Right.
the end, here's level 2.
Is
That's-
that something you'd be willing to split test?
Oh, God, I hate the idea of split
I do
test.
too. I can only
But
say
it's,
the
Well-
word,
yeah,
that's
yeah,
all.
it's a reasonable thing.
Usually-
First chance you got to do that.
Yeah, and
You
you-
wanted to use it.
No,
That was nice.
You know, I just think, you know, if you've got a quandary like this, and you don't know which works better, then instead of like debating sort of ongoingly, like what's better,
Mm.
just do a test where half of your people in the webinar go to a sales page that says, here's the whole thing, and then some, half the other
It's-
people go to, you know, this is the beginning, and see what happens. I don't know, you know, this is still learning things,
Yeah.
so since you don't know, and you won't have any information necessarily after you do one, but if you split test, you might have some.
Because it's not
information.
complicated enough.
That's true.
It's a lot of,
It's not
so
complicated
just
enough.
so you know, best practices, split testing is usually mostly just on titles and headlines and things. So when you split test whole programs, you don't get great data. You really don't, because that means you try to send half there and then you run the risk of those half not seeing the other one and for the whole offer. So, but I think.
Clarify what the advantage of the two options, what's the advantage of option 1 and the advantage of option 2?
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I was going to see. First, I wanted to see if Lion had a sense of what he wanted, and you're open to either side. So the advantage of the first one, which is just like we all see out there, is, I'm just say it again, if you've ever been to the Shift Network, anything, Evolving Wisdom, it's a webinar into a 7-week course, period.
Yeah.
Done. No, you don't even think about anything else. That's what I'm getting you guys into. So I'm not even thinking about this yet. Now, the advantage of that is it's really clear that's the offer. That's it. $300 to get in, I'm in. Thank you. There's no buckets and other things on the page that what happens is I start to get overwhelmed as I'm looking at that page, and I start to kind of go, well, I could do that, and what happens is the days go by and I don't sign up for either. So there's a clarity, a simplicity and a clarity that creates potentially more signups, more people that get it.
I think, to me, I think when I see that, I think it's not really a $300 class, they really want $1,200. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if I see the,
Teaser.
it's like it's like I feel like I'm just getting a
The bait
teaser,
switch.
it's just, yeah.
If it's all on the page together,
Yeah,
I
that's
get
what
right.
I feel like.
That's
I'm
another
not-
good.
It's really not 300, it's
All
really
the good stuff's
1,200,
gonna
but
be
they're
later.
Yeah,
trying to get me in for 3.
That's a great-
So I know that now it's really not a $300 investment, it's a $1,200 investment.
yeah. So that's
So
it's a good point.
You're more reluctant to sign up for the 300 because you know it's just a tease?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
like they're trying to get me into the other
Yeah,
one,
like
right?
I know this is gonna cost me more than 3.
Yeah, but see, I think for the educational market, like for therapists, right?
For coaches and
they're
therapists.
used to, and coaching
Yeah.
programs,
That is
like
right.
they're used to, I have to get a certain number of courses
Yeah.
over a
Mhm.
period of time
Right.
in order to qualify for, in order to qualify for my certification or
Right.
in order to, get the whole thing. So, it is a different market, and I don't
Mhm.
know whether
Mm-hmm.
the same technique would work for the professional market as it does for the.
Because I like knowing
Yeah.
that I can get all my hours in.
Right,
With you, if I
right.
decide, oh, this is great, there's more to come.
yeah.
But you're not offering CEU. Can you offer
I am not.
CEUs? You are. Okay, you have a way to set
I've
that
got
up.
48
Okay.
hours of CEUs for,
Okay.
for my big course, and I found out I can split it up and offer,
Right.
12 and 20, whatever.
Yeah. So here's the pro on the other side of putting it all on there is it's basically easy for him in a way that Lion, it's kind of one program. And he is just saying if you want the introductory
Yeah, that's a way to-
experience.
That's actually a way to explain it.
Yep. And so
That it's
here's,
not a that this is standalone, welcome to it.
yeah.
And, and here's the whole whole course,
Enchilada.
you know?
Mhm.
If
And-
you're,
Yeah.
if you want to taste of what I do, other than be on the webinar, you can start here and see how it feels to you.
And that's how I sold the intro program. This
Yeah.
time, it was
Right.
kind of a rush job, but I got 3 more people to sign up
Mhm.
for that.
Right.
And so, yeah.
Yeah, because and the other thing that I always come back to is the avatar. So he has actually said, you know what, I'm going to stick with coaches. Because before it was sort of like, oh, I could do a public thing, and I know you have your evergreen product that's kind of for the public out there. So if you're committed to these folks, then ultimately the 18-week experience or the 18-module experience is really what you want them to have, right?
Yeah.
And so what you're saying though is it's not a tease. You have to start is like here is the introductory modules.
Yeah.
that everybody's going to go through. Everybody, even the people that pay the more, right? They're going to go through that, and all you're doing is stopping at 6 weeks. And then, of course, you have that option to then upsell them. How was it, and are you ready to go into and continue on?
Right.
And you don't have to do that up front. They make a choice on the sales page which one they want, and then you have an opportunity to get them in the full program later. The other thing is you can make this truly the certification.
Yeah.
Like we talked about this, it's actually call it the certification process.
Yeah.
This is the introductory course that leads, that's parallel with this.
Turn this off.
Is that you, the Cricut one? Yeah.
I like certification idea.
So, you know, so that's why, Lion, I was curious of how you wanted to do it, because generally my feeling is to let them stand alone, separate. But I know that creates more work for you. You know what I mean? That does mean really making this a standalone thing, and then I offer my certification program sort of later, versus giving them the choice to dive in right now and pay that extra money. You know, so you will. That means your participants in your program are going to be whatever percentage in the 6-week and whatever percentage in the 18-week thing, and then that's basically one course. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Or,
It's really
Or it's 2 courses, level 1, level 2. You know.
Yeah, but
So,
yes,
How much
yes.
interaction do they have?
a lot. I mean, I put them in pairs and
Right,
they
so
practice
they're
together.
gonna want, like, if you do that, they're gonna kinda wanna go on, I would think.
Yeah, well, all 3 people did, only one could afford it, so,
Right,
you know, it was $1,000 uptick,
right,
right?
right.
And do you want to keep doing the 6-week live, or is there some point where, because again, if you unhook them, then at some point you make the 6-week thing an evergreen program that's very robust, not like it's got lots of other features, maybe a drop-in call with you, and then it's a natural next step. Right now, they'd be woven in if they were on one sales page, right? And you probably need to do them live every time you launch it.
Yeah,
It'd be a little bit hard to just, again, pull that out and say, hey, here's the intro piece. You're not going to interact with me or anybody else until you sign up for this. So it's just something to think about down the line.
yeah. In the past, when people wanted to do the program when I wasn't doing it, is I offered them the chance to do it by recording.
Mhm.
And so they kind of listened to the previous recordings and.
But you're willing to do this live. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
each time you launch it, you want to do it live. You don't have any big push to make this an evergreen experience. Okay, all right.
But I can see how it could become that, but
Okay.
That's not my.
So let's put it to the group here in terms of, again, we could encourage him to kind of pull the 6 weeks out, have that, and then when that's done, encourage, if there's 100 people in this, and then encourage them into the advanced program. It's one way to go. Or the other way is to have it's one course title and program, and it's broken into 2 steps, if you will, on the sales page. Here's the introductory experience and X price. If you want the certification program and a full 18 modules or whatever it is, that's an X price here. And we'd have to really make sure that's clean and clear on the page.
And timing-wise, are all the weeks contiguous? You just go straight through 18 weeks?
Well, I was thinking that
Right.
it could be that, or I could have a little break in between, a couple weeks in between.
How much is the CEUs for the 6-week versus the 18-week?
It'd be 12 and 26 or 24. So it's 48 total, so it'd be a third of the 48. Yeah, 12
So 12,
and 24. Yeah.
24, great.
And does 12 match up to what most people, how many, is there like how much do most people need per year or something? Is there-
Every 2 years, coaches in the ICF program need 35
Okay, so your
CEUs.
program would satisfy that.
Would satisfy that, yeah.
So that's helpful to know that. My full program will satisfy your 2-year recertification efforts.
Right.
So what do you think? What do you guys think if you were? Well, some of you you're a coach, So how would you coach and work with people?
I'm sort of inclined to think the putting the full thing on,
Yeah, just have one. It's one big program, and then it's
Yeah.
two steps or 2 possibilities. Okay.
Well, you already have fundamentally a warm audience because you know who they are, they're coaches, you know they need it. It's not like me just trying to get to anyone, try to get them through that funnel. So that helps.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and it also just makes it simple I know it makes it simpler for you, because in this other model, it would be a whole sales page for the 6-week, and then a really separate defined sales page for the certification program. What you're going to do is basically put it into one page, which is sort of what you have now, and it
But now
and
I could just
that needs to be revamped.
modified.
Yeah, way revamped. No,
Yeah.
we didn't do the deeper dive into making sure that that's really clear what the offering is, and that. Yeah, I
Academic
guess I'm.
approach seem to go well.
Say again?
Does a more academic approach seem to go well, like the way you have your courses? It looks kind of like a college setup. Does that seem to be better with your students versus
I
a more
don't
pop
take,
psychology approach?
yeah, I mean, I am focused on coaches and therapists and healers, and yoga teachers. I mean, so I get a wide range of people, and so I try to keep it like, if you have clients,
Sure.
this is a way to go deeper with them. So I don't, it's not just focused on coaches.
Have
All
you
right,
taken,
well, yeah.
just last one, have
Are
you
we
taken any
beyond the time?
courses?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
sorry,
we
okay.
are. Sorry,
Go
we're
ahead.
going on break. I wanted. It's okay. But so, Lion, I mean, here's what's great about all this is because you already just did it. We're just, and I see where I think you're leaning is instead of trying to figure out how to create two new things, it's basically your launch with just putting more energy to getting more people in the 6-week.
Right,
Not as a little side thing.
right. but-
It's on the page. This is the course,
Yeah.
and it's $297.
Right.
And then this other one is another $1,100 or whatever, or the total of that. Does that make sense? 1,400 or whatever we decide. So pricing will be an issue to really think through that. What is the 6-week worth for coaches? Maybe it's a little higher. I don't know, maybe it's $497 or something like that.
I charge $575, and said you can upgrade to the full price of $2,300, but then I lowered it down, say $1,000 more. So
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
basically getting it at the cheapest price.
yeah. Okay. So I'd want to explore pricing with you going
Yeah,
forward
yeah.
about those two programs.
Yeah.
And then I think what's good about it is whatever you had, I don't know if this was longer than what you had on your current webinar page. Remember I saw your webinar, I don't know what that was called. You had a whole, in fact, you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Basically that webinar, we worked a lot on getting that hot.
Yeah.
The difference in the webinar now is your offer when you get to those last 12 minutes, and this is where the rubber meets the road, is you make a powerful offer about this step. Does that make sense? Before you were just trying to get them into the $1,500 program, right? Now it's like, here are your two options. You can step into this, but you can also decide if you're ready for you right now to go, boom, and you can get 48 CEUs here. This is really the deeper dive. And then for those of you that this program, you'll get incredible value and you'll get all the first part of the program, which is really important stuff.
Right.
And everybody's going through the same time.
And there's a very clear financial incentive and all that.
Yeah.
Sign up for the full thing.
Right. And then you can play with things of pricing that if you're, right now this is normally if you choose, some of you may just choose the 6-week program. That's great, fine. If you choose that right now for the next 48 hours, you get X. You get a special bonus. You get it off this price to really encourage them to sign up, to take that tension to go, okay, I'm going to do the longer program right there. And then your campaign after that can shift that and put it back to normal price and all that. So that's all in the offering, the offer actually in the webinar. So then you wouldn't have to change the webinar at all.
Right.
That's done. That page is done and everything. You could show, okay. And then the course is basically done. The only difference now is getting much more clear on the course. What has to change for you is level 1, level 2. Yeah. And being very clear on how you write what you get for this and then what you also get for this. So remind me, write a note too that I'll show you Shakti Milan's page. She did a Sexual Awakening for Women course. Hers was a 9-month and a 12-month, so it's longer than yours. But she sold the 9-month program as the whole cohort would be going through that. And then if you wanted the certification, which was 3 more months, then you paid this extra amount. But the cohort was all together, which was really cool. And that's kind of what we're saying here is that when you start at the beginning of the 6 weeks, everybody's in it together. And they're all, and you can make hay out of that. You're all going to be in this learning group, and then those of you, there's a natural stopping point at 6 weeks, and you'll get a lot of value at that level. And the risk that April is bringing up is, the risk is this is just, am I really going to get the value in 6 weeks? So
And that's where you hammer it home in the webinar.
yeah, like this is, I've created this course to be just like Shakti did at 9 months. This is a powerful experience going through it 9 months. And if you want that deeper dive for 3 more months, then you can have that.
You know, when Neil
Yeah.
Donald Walsh, I did his first 7-week program, and then he came out with another one, and it was a natural thing for me to keep wanting more.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, exactly.
Mhm.
And then, you know, I mean, even Lion can build a mastermind. So the natural thing would be sort of a mastermind group coming out of even the 18, the full thing, right? And that would, because he's like a master coach working with other coaches to just take the real-time stuff they're facing. And that would probably be the end game for you, Lion. I don't, unless you wanted to do some year-long deep dive, or it's probably more of a mastermind circle. Okay. Yes. Yes. So Lion, does that give you
Yeah.
what you need to know?
Very good.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've got, do you want sparkling or flat? Okay. Yeah. The glasses are out there. Sorry, there. And so, Lion, just in terms of we didn't do a lot of the work on the copy, but you've got most of
I
it,
got
right?
most of it,
Yeah.
yeah. I just need to modify it for the new view.
Great, great. And so this was break time. So if you guys want to take a 15-minute break, I'm less worried about timing now, guys, because I thought it was going to be 6 people. So
Yeah.
we've got time, but let's do a break and
Can I
then.
ask a question in the
Sure.
context of this though? So I'm still not clear. What, in your opinion, is the value of having the break between this 6 or 7 week thing and then the longer course?
Yeah,
What for you is the value in what is 6 to 8 weeks?
Yeah.
In your ideal.
Yeah, I mean, usually for me, what I want to deliver as much value in a 7-week experience as possible to get as many people in that course as possible too, you know? So it's like, this is it. There's no other thing I got to do. The value for me then is that if I give them a break coming out of that before moving, they still are digesting the course. They're still kind of even still working through some of the things. If I just try to upsell them right away into another course, what happens is they're full. And they don't necessarily, they're not ready for the next experience.
So you don't sell it to them at a discount if you go and sign up now, even though it's coming in 2 months?
Nope.
Oh man, it seems, I mean,
No.
they always do it, it's like selling from the stage. I go to the event and they're selling while they're there and I buy 2 programs.
Yeah, it's hard to do that in an online program without overwhelming people. You know, it's different selling from the stage. It really is.
That makes sense.
Most of the selling from the stage is I bring you in, Thrive Academy, I bring you into a 2-day thing that was free.
Yeah.
It's free, 2 days, and you're like, oh my God, I'm getting all this value, and then I sell you my $15,000 program from there. So the challenge is people are already, they're coming to the webinar, they're already paying $300, they're full.
Yeah.
So trying to sell them something even during those 7 weeks or right after is kind of a recipe for it to kind of fall. So that's why we're going with Lion is,
Let 'em get hungry again.
yeah. And a lot of advanced courses aren't exactly aligned in the same content. Do you know what I mean? Like your advanced course might be a shift away in a totally different direction than what was here, but it was a natural, kind of a natural flow. It's too hard to link those right together because they're already just thinking, I want this. This feels a little bit different. So if you try to sell or conflate those, it just gets confusing and overwhelming. And that's the challenge in our culture is if it's more confusing or if it feels overwhelming, then I just kind of go into freeze mode or, you know, like, it's too much. The exception with Lion is he already has this 18-week thing that he loves and that he's into. How do we get some level of people to get a bite of that? And
Right, but
that's,
it's also teaching coaches and people are clients, so that's already a different market right there.
right, right.
And while there might be people new in those professions that really do only want the 6 week, because that's all they can digest.
Yeah, and
There's
afford,
people
and
more
afford, yeah.
experienced in various forms of coaching and teaching that want the whole thing because they're ready.
Yeah,
But also on top of that, if they need the CEUs, it's a big
yeah,
draw. Just say, okay, I'm just gonna do these 18 weeks, I'm gonna get them, I'm good to go.
yes, yeah,
I mean,
And-
so it's just a different market, so that makes sense to me,
yes,
but I'm
yeah,
just trying to think about it in terms of mine, because it's I have the same situation where creating this split between this first 7 week thing and this other thing is an unnatural split.
yes,
These things
Right.
are really one thing.
yeah,
So
Yes.
it is unnatural, so I'm just trying to figure out how these ideas apply to what I'm doing. But I don't
Yeah.
have a group that is already like.
Or
coaches
ready
are
for the-
already trained and are already frustrated, right? Whereas I
Mhm.
just have people.
Right, exactly. You just have the general public out
Yeah,
there,
who
the
haven't even figured
populace.
out yet they're doing it.
Right,
Right, you know,
right,
so it's a
right.
different audience.
And there's for like what you're saying with the general public audience, different than coaches, and he's a coach just like them. It's kind of almost like colleagues, if you will, come into my collegial program. For you, it is about, can I create a powerful introductory experience that stands alone on its own, doesn't have to be connected to something, although it is, you know it is, to give those people that kind of sense of like, great, this is it. I got a taste of her, I'm complete at the 7 weeks, I don't have to look at or try to decide if I need this longer thing on the same sales page. For you, with the general public program, it's much, the model that still works is you have an introductory program and you don't confuse them with anything else until they're done with it, and then you can offer them the next step. But you know, they have to have a good experience. They need to see the whole arc too. Like imagine for a lot of the courses that I have that go through a transformational arc, if you're trying to sell them as something at 3 weeks in and they're totally in their shit, you know, like my purpose work, they're like into their inner bullies in week 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So meaning that they're on an arc, a journey, and I want them at 7 weeks to go, oh man, now I'm ready. And
Yeah.
ready for the next step.
Yeah, I'm just trying to create an actual workable prerequisite for a much bigger thing, so people could do this in this year and preparing for the
Yeah.
next year. And if it's
Yeah.
spread out too far, it's not workable. It doesn't serve that purpose, which is really its most valuable purpose for me, is giving people who are spread out a means to accomplish their prerequisites before they actually decide to fly to this
Yeah,
in-person thing. That is
right.
only ever gonna be offered in person, so if you wanna do it, you have to come. I
Yeah.
mean, how do they get that? those
Yeah, well, eventually this introductory program, we talked about this, could be that it's an evergreen program. And then that helps you that they can step in and take it anytime, and then whatever your in-person dates are, people throughout the whole year can take it rather than you offering it at specific times and chunks where the timing would be off. But
Yeah, and
that's
part
hard,
of
you
it
know.
for me right now, in the next couple of years doing this, is figuring out if it can be evergreen. You know,
Yeah, and maybe it
is
can.
evergreen? You know, I
yeah.
don't know. And,
Yeah.
but the other thing is, it becomes a format that other people can teach
Right.
in
Yeah.
the organization.
Yeah, you mean your senior students, if you will. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's the age-old question in online learning right now is how can I, engagement and getting people to go through the experience is the big question. I mean, it's the big, gosh, it's harder and harder to get people to actually not only sign up because there's so much out there, but make sure that they actually go through the program. And so doing it live, like you're saying, is the best way to really keep the cohort moving through and going through the experience with you. So a lot of teachers stay committed to that. Some don't.
And for me, if there isn't a live component, online learning's not that interesting for me.
For you, right? You mean as a
Because of
teacher?
my content.
Yeah,
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 it's
yeah.
just, it's not gonna serve
Right.
the bigger picture of what I'm doing if this online live piece doesn't really work. You know, which is why it hasn't been that interesting until now,
Yeah.
when
yeah.
we have the technology to support that.
Yeah. Okay.
And so I'm not that interested in creating evergreen products for myself as much as creating structures for teaching that my students could come in and become the
Great.
teachers
Of that,
create
yes.
this-
Yep,
this
I get it. That's great.
organization that grows.
It's
and that
great.
I eventually get to sit back and
That's a great
look
model.
how good they are.
No, because you're empowering the senior
And they
teachers
just
too.
Wheel me out in my wheelchair to do the work, you know?
You're like Ram Dass
Yeah,
now.
I
It's like
know.
it's great. It's like hi, just holds court. Do you want to go now, or who would like to go next? Do you feel
I'm
ready?
sorry, I really overran our break, so I was gonna just actually shut up here for a minute.
No, if you want to. Yeah, who needs the
I'm
bathroom?
gonna run to
and-
the bathroom
yeah,
real
great.
quick before we stop here.
I'll go next.
Yes.
Oh, okay, great, awesome. Yeah. Do you want these pages, Lion, or are you good with just?
I'm good.
You're good. Okay. Okay, this is going to be Aaron Birch. How do I take this off?
So Ryan, are you wanting
Just mute. It's the top button here somewhere, right? Just mute.
Is that where you're going with this?
How do I hit the
Just
mute?
press the,
Just
you
if I wanna
you
move
can
it.
put mute, or you can, actually just, if you're not using it, just press the red button.
Oh, the red button.
Just
Okay.
press the red
Yeah,
button.
and remind me to turn it back on then when you do.
Yeah.
So I've got another.
Still. Oh, there we go. Got it.
Mind for your program?
Wow.
Wow, dude.
I know.
I got the full out. I'm impressed.
Right
Amazing.
before they switched, yeah, so they had a section that was basically like a magazine.
Let's get some more water here.
Yeah. Nice.
Program, then they shut that down.
Here, guys, go.
Okay.
I just decided to go with teachers with future lists.
You go backlist. You got backlist. Yeah.
Yeah, I got backlisted exactly.
Yeah.
Does anybody
But that
need any
caused me-
drink? I have like little soda waters with
Yeah, no, so that-
drinks in it and everything.
So that's also a few other-
It doesn't sound like you're enormously happy.
Well, it hasn't sold much.
All right, Aaron. Shall we? You want me to scribe for you? Or?
I'm not
Yeah.
sure how
Come on over here in the seats and.
getting out.
Yeah, yeah.
Great. And let's scribe while they talk a little bit here. So, what's the webinar?
So the webinar title is 3 Keys to Resolving Your Neck Pain.
Yep. Okay. Okay. Your neck pain. All right.
Yeah, great. No. If anything changes here, you all have feedback. The subtitle is Taking You from Pain to Freedom.
Mm-hmm.
And the 3 keys are alignment, attunement, and assembly, which are the core foundations of my
Yep.
I can't hear you very well, Aaron. Alignment, attunement,
and assembly. Those are the 3. I'm not going to necessarily call them that, but I might. But those are the
alignment.
Yeah.
yeah,
Third A,
assembly.
assembly.
Yeah. What that means is it's the game of tension where the tension actually lives. There's places where it's designed to live and places where it's not. So
That's great. Yeah.
so yeah.
Great. And it's good that you're introducing your model basically in
Yeah,
here, and you
yeah.
can weave it back to the neck, but it's.
Yeah. Totally. I mean, it's about the happy places, happy dances, and happy relationships with alignment. And then it's like an attunement. If you can feel it, you can heal it. That's the big principle. And then the third one is taking tension out of where it shouldn't be, because tension where it doesn't belong in the body is corrosive. So
Okay.
that's what creates the degenerative changes.
What was the happy places and then happy dances and then the
Happy-
third?
And then happy relationships.
Happy relationships,
Yeah.
okay. Okay, great.
And then the course title is The Next Solution.
Say again.
The Next Solution.
Oh, that's right, yep. And I have the, is that still the same there? The revolutionary,
What's it the solution to?
you'll see. Yeah, we'll give feedback in a moment.
Okay.
So what's the subtitle?
Oh, subtitle, yeah.
A
is-
revolutionary new method for self-healing your neck pain and stiffness?
Yeah, so that's actually, what I might
Yeah, have you
done-
altered it a bit?
I might have. The subtitle for that is, okay, so I've got the revolutionary approach to ending neck pain now, and I've also got healing your neck pain safely and effectively. So those are the two.
So say the first one again so I can get it. Revolutionary?
Revolutionary approach to ending neck pain now.
Okay.
And the other one is healing your neck pain safely and effectively. So those are the two subtitles.
Healing your neck pain. Your neck pain what? Say again. Safe.
Healing your neck pain safely and
Sa-
effectively.
safely and effectively. Okay, great.
That sounds like something the AMA would.
Right.
That sounds like an AMA. You like just something better, yeah. Okay.
Well, yeah, but yeah, we'll give feedback in a moment. We're describing. It's all right.
Okay.
So, headline. You have a headline?
The headline is, discover how to move from trapped in neck pain to moving freely and doing what you love.
Discover how to move. How to move from.
Yeah, to move from trapped in neck pain to moving freely, which is doubling the move.
Yeah, trapped in.
To moving freely and doing what you love. So we can tweak that.
Moving freely, doing what you love.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then the modules are, the first one is setting you up for success,
Mm-hmm.
what you need to know and how you need to think. Basically,
Okay.
looking at like mindset, basically.
Okay.
The second module is anatomy, which is discovering your inner landscape.
Mm-hmm. I'm just going to kind of put these as little
That's good.
markers. Okay.
And then module 3 is landscape alive, moving and feeling into possibility.
Escape alive. Okay.
And then the fourth module is getting the neck you want.
I
I
love that.
love that. That's great.
That makes
Like
my
it-
day.
I know, like getting the love you want, right? Getting the neck you want.
How about getting the necking you want?
Yeah. I want some necking.
Why stop there?
What if there are
Why
what if everyone has a book you can kind of mirror so it's catchy like that?
Right.
Great.
Your inner-
Yeah.
So next at 5.
So that's it, 4.
Oh, 4. You're doing 4.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
right.
just doing
Okay.
4.
Yep, that's right. Okay.
I guess
Great.
this is just we're
Yeah,
making
no,
this
we
super
are. This
simple.
is great. So, awesome, Erin. This is really, really good. This is a great start. And let's just, now we're going to fine tune it with feedback. So I'll start the feedback with you here. Whoops, webinar. Okay. Ooh. So, first of all, 3 keys to resolving your neck pain. Taking you from pain to freedom. So first thing there is pain and pain.
I know. That's it.
So it's already, we can think of something. I like how short this is, and I think freedom is important to you, right?
Yeah.
This sense of freedom in the body and freedom in movement.
Yeah.
Okay. What might you substitute in this part?
Trapped to freedom.
Taking you
Which is what I
from
used in the other one.
trapped to freedom.
Yeah, from limited or stiff,
Or stiff or discomfort.
Mm-hmm.
discomfort or limited or
Yeah.
Stiff to free.
imprisoned, ensnared.
Ensnared. She's got her
Sorry.
she's got her thesaurus up.
That's me.
Am I okay over here, Alan, when I'm over in this? How far can I go? This fine? Okay, got it.
From,
Well, let's start from scratch, from everyone. Like, I'm not even sure I like taking you from. So what's
Yeah.
really the essence of,
Moving from pain to freedom, moving
Mhm.
away
discovering,
from pain.
discovering.
that would be more the headline, which we
Okay.
haven't get to, a little longer thing for it.
If you flip it from pain to freedom, 3 keys to resolving your neck pain,
Neck
Title.
problem. Neck problem.
Neck,
neck problems.
yeah.
I like that.
From
You do like
pain
that? Let's
to
play it.
freedom, because that's really the one. Like, pain to freedom. A
Yeah.
bunch of people will go there. Oh, it's about necks. Oh, you go.
Let's do that and let's get that. The only thing is I find that if we're going to bold that as big, from pain to freedom is so
I know. it's-
generic,
that's what
when
I'm
it-
saying.
you
It's
know,
good to have that, like,
so let me capture that for you. So option, James.
free your neck and your
But what did you,
free your neck.
Okay.
free your neck?
From pain in the neck to.
That still could
And
be,
your life will.
let me just capture the first one just in case, which was what, from freedom, from pain to freedom?
Pain to freedom.
And then you said something, what would be
And
the,
we flipped it, so just go back to the other side.
oh, and then the 3 keys, yeah, right. The 3, what was it, the 3 keys to resolving your neck pain?
The 3 keys to
Yeah. 3 keys to resolving,
resolving your neck pain.
yeah. And you can, and resolving your neck issues, but your neck
Yeah.
problems,
Yeah.
something like that. Okay, so that was an option, JMS.
Dilemma. Quandary.
What to do? What do you guys like about if we were stay with this do you want to stay with this as the title and just come up with another title, or think it should be a catchier title and then leave this as sort of the subtitle, 3
This is
keys?
for the webinar, so.
Yeah, this is just
I'm
webinar.
thinking about the avatar, I'm thinking like, okay, like my wife had neck pain for 12 years.
Yeah.
And so she, so what would she have wanted? You know, she
Mhm.
wanted to resolve this thing. It's like she,
Yeah.
it was just such a pain for her, right? It was-
Yeah, and it's there, it's present for when, no matter when, like, everything you do.
Yeah,
Mhm.
It really does dominate your existence, it can.
right, and so
Mhm.
it might not have been pain all the time, it was discomfort, it was limiting, it was
Right,
limitation.
One way or
Definitely.
another.
Right, she had to be careful about it all the time.
Right,
It's like-
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
From limiting to freedom, yeah, from
Pain, liberation.
Grabbing.
neck.
So it's,
Neck to pain.
so she wanted to go from limitation to freedom, freedom, like
Yeah.
cervical freedom, like, oh,
Right.
yeah, I can move.
I
The
can move.
liberated neck.
How about I can move
Yeah.
again?
Yeah. As the title, I can move again. Yeah,
Something
that
like
doesn't focus as much on that.
On the neck.
I can.
I can move again, 3 keys to
Yeah.
reclaiming.
Well, now you have to have neck pain again.
Neck
So I can move. It would almost be like this, but I can move again. 3 keys to resolving your neck pain. I mean, you have to have neck pain in
Yeah,
there somewhere.
yeah.
Neck liberation.
Is neck pain the thing that people refer to it as?
It's
Yeah,
pain and
shoulder
stiffness.
pain,
Pain and stiffness. Yeah.
Neck and shoulder pain. Yeah, I mean, I'm really sort of focusing on here. And this is, 4 weeks, you're just gonna get.
Well, this is my concern a little bit, is that, and maybe you make this more like a 60-minute webinar instead of 75-minute. My concern is you're going to give great stuff in here, and are they going to need to take the course?
Well, yeah, because I'm just really giving, the ideas.
The
3
ideas.
A's.
Yeah,
The
okay.
3 A's.
Right.
It's just the ideas of
Not the
like,
how to,
like,
but.
yeah. like if you don't have this, then you can't be free. If
Okay.
you don't have the alignment.
Mm-hmm.
It's the
You're gonna-
fundamentals.
Yeah, that's
Yes,
yeah something.
fundamentals. If you don't have the attunement, like if you don't really know what's going on, you're powerless to change it. Like that's
Mhm.
kind of like, those kind of like paradigm shifts for people.
Yeah. Okay. Good. And then I'm just trying to also look for some fresh languaging other than keys and things like that. Do you think
Yeah.
those 3 A's are steps? Well, are like the 3 steps to
3
resolving?
mind shifts, that's not very sexy.
That's not very sexy. Yeah.
Fundamental.
Or principles. The 3
You know,
principles.
having just been in crippling back pain, 3 keys to resolving my back pain would have got me out of that.
Really?
Because in pain.
In pain, yeah.
Yeah. I don't need fancy words, I'm in pain. I
Right.
can't even understand fancy words, I'm in
Right.
pain.
That's so
Mhm.
true. Yeah,
So-
it's pretty clean and clear when you're in pain.
Yeah.
So let's kind of stay within
It
that.
really
I'm,
limits you
I'm
when
hearing
you're
that.
reading.
Yeah.
It really limits you. And the more you're in it, the more it limits you and the less you're aware of it in some ways, right? Like it's like,
You lose
Yeah.
hope, you lose a
You
sense
lose
of
hope,
potential,
yeah.
big
How
fancy
about-
things.
you adapt.
Right, how about get rid of your neck pain? Like isn't that?
That's more her course. She really needs to be careful that she doesn't
Yeah,
that sell the get ridding in this. She's actually trying to give the keys to the kingdom. But yes, I hear that's why her
Like,
next solution
these
is
principles are really tried and true for me in everything that I do. Like that's why they're the principles of my founding principles for the Birch Method. Because if you have these three things, you're good.
Well, I'm kind of wondering if the title isn't something like Freedom Fundamentals, and then this is the subtitle, From Pain to Freedom. Well, freedom is repeated, but anyway, 5 keys to resolving neck problems, whereas there could be resolving other problems and other things.
but I love your original response. That's if you really resonated with the 3 keys to resolving your neck pain and you said I'm in, I want that to be the biggest thing. Yeah.
It's long.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
it's fine. This is
Okay.
no, remember webinar titles are not the course titles because you're always going to have the 3 principles or the 4 secrets to something something. They can be longer. Webinar titles can be longer.
If that's the case, then I would want to see 3 keys to resolving your neck pain.
That's what we had earlier, yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know, but
Yep.
That's
That's what I
to
had.
me, that's
That was my original one.
That's right.
Resolving your engagement.
And then
And then taking you from.
Like that.
well, and then
restriction
moving
to freedom.
or yeah, and I said from feeling and then I had a feeling here, Aaron. So just see if you want to play moving from feeling limited to free. Sorry, free.
Yeah.
Or or even if it's
free to
taking
move, free to, oh, you've got moving
Taking,
in there.
I had taking,
Restrictions,
not taking, okay,
Yeah, so-
moving from restriction to freedom.
okay, moving from restriction to freedom. Okay, how does that
How quickly do people start to get relief? Like, is it
Well,
three
this
things to
is-
resolving neck problems now, or?
Yeah, so, you mean again, this is just a webinar. So they're
Oh,
not.
It's just a webinar.
yeah, webinar, yeah.
Yeah, so the course, it's tricky, right? Neck pain is tricky. There's a lot of, and I'm gonna say that, like, I'm gonna need to, release, like, check your doctor, before you, engage in this, like, that kind of, like, caveat. But also, like, there are many structures.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna address all the structures, right? But I'm gonna address some key structures in the course in 4 weeks.
In the course,
Yeah.
In 4 weeks, that will start you to managing your own neck pain. Like, if you do other things like chiropractic or whatever, that's great, but this is gonna keep that going. You're gonna make distinctions in your body.
And so the purpose of your webinar is to show them enough about your 3 A's that they understand this is something they're not already doing. That's
Yeah,
really-
self-healing-
that's
a
really
self-healing,
what the
right,
webinar is
yep.
doing, is saying, this approach is significantly different from the 7 other things you're already doing all the time.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
It's
And
gonna
then
open
that
your, it's gonna
happens
open
in the
your
course.
world to the fact that, you know what, there's things you don't know here. And if you do these things, you're gonna start feeling better. When you follow those 3 principles, you've gotta get better. When you really follow them, you've gotta get better.
And so you're really
So-
selling these, like you're really selling secrets or insights or,
Yeah.
you're.
Yeah,
Secrets,
yeah,
yeah.
keys, secrets.
Yeah.
I mean, she could
People
change
don't
it to
know this.
secrets,
People
yeah.
don't know
Right,
this stuff.
exactly.
Yeah,
So that's a possibility to play with secrets if you
Yeah.
want.
yeah.
You see, that's both are used a lot and
Insights.
overused, but yeah.
Insights.
So here's a couple of things. So we have moving, you can get rid of this, moving from restriction to freedom, but also shifting from restriction to freedom. So you could play with some of the words, shifting.
Okay.
But I like moving too because it's in line with what you're teaching too, which is about finding a new way of moving and holding yourself. But
Right.
the other one is that you may want to, even in this, is have something as the subtitle that's like a self-healing process for a healthy body, or for, I don't want to say neck again, but do you want to say something that, yeah. Partly because it came out here as it's really part of your unique thing is a self-healing process.
Well,
but yeah.
one of the subtitles was the effective self-help way to end neck pain now.
Mm-hmm.
Was another.
Yeah, I like that.
So
So what are you guys resonating with some of these and what you just said?
What you said. Read what you.
Okay, let's write that.
so I could do self-help way to.
Well, what did you just say? You read it.
I
Just
said The effective self-help way to end neck pain now,
Yeah.
or, you know, later, tomorrow.
The effective self-help way to end neck pain. Okay.
Yeah.
This can actually also make it into your headline of that too. I don't know if you actually created a headline for the webinar, but this language could be in the
Okay.
headline as
Instead of
well.
the 3 keys.
Yeah.
So what resonates for you if you were in neck pain?
Well, this is still subtitle. I'm still playing with subtitle
I
for
know,
this,
but I'm saying, you're saying I could
it
switch
could-
that to title.
The
Effective self-help way.
to headline, not the headline.
headline.
Headline. Remember, it's title, then subtitle, then longer headline. I'm saying you could add to
Okay.
that, discover the effective self-help way so that you can live free and you know what I mean, all the transformational stuff. So this could even be headline here. So
Because I don't have a headline.
yeah, right. So there is something that I want with a self-help or self-healing approach. I don't know if you want to use self-healing too, but let's just say that kind of language would go in the headline.
Okay,
So it leaves, you don't have to try to cram it all in.
okay.
So my sense is that for me too, Charmaine's had a lot of neck pain, is that your title is the 3 keys to resolving your neck pain.
Right.
And then it could be one of these, or just play with it.
Okay.
It could be very simple, you know.
Moving from restriction to freedom,
Okay, great.
and
Yeah.
then,
And then
is the
discover.
effective self-help, discover
yep.
the effective self-help way to end neck pain. That's
Mm-hmm.
neck and pain again.
Neck, yeah, it's fine. There may be neck stiffness and pain, like add that to stiffness and
yeah,
pain.
neck
So,
stiffness and pain. That's good.
and then you had safe. If you want to add in safe to be, I know she didn't like it, but in the headline maybe it works. Discover the effective and safe.
Compared to the other one, it just sounded very ambient.
I agree.
Versus
So,
the other one was like, oh, I'm gonna do that. Where the other one was like, guys have already told me this. It's not working.
Right.
That way.
Pharmaceuticals and surgery. You know, because that's what's safe. And that's what it's safe
proven
now,
now,
right?
right?
Study, you know.
Right, now, that big pharma, biggest drug dealer in the country.
Oh my God, I know. The war on drugs.
so you can. So there might be some dots. So I'm just saying that the headline. So this now shifts. I wrote subtitle here,
Okay.
but
So
some.
the effective and safe self-help way to end neck pains, to end neck stiffness and pain, so you can
Feel more
reclaim
vibrant.
your life.
Yeah, reclaim your life. Feel more vibrant. Yeah, so you can.
I like that.
That's good.
Your crackling liveness.
Crackling
You,
alive.
yeah, claim your.
Crackling.
Okay.
A lot of people with neck pain have a lot of crackling.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's,
You know,
Correct,
that's
correct.
chiropractic right there.
all right. So is that good enough to get you in there? That's any other questions you have of the group on this, or you feel good about that? Because then we'll go to we'll move to the course.
So when I talk about alignment, attunement, and assembly for the 3 keys, you know, I talk about basically that every structure in your body has a very specific designated place where it loves to be and where it's happy moving, and there's a specific dance that it does, and there's specific ways that your structures sort of correspond to each other.
Mm-hmm.
There's a design here.
Yeah.
And even though we can function outside of the design, I don't recommend it.
Right. Yes.
So,
Yep.
so it's really going into like, okay, so then let's look at, and every structure's like built in a certain way to lead it into like that structure and function
Right.
relationship.
Right. Yeah.
right? To lead it into the happy dance and all that kind of
And
stuff.
you'll be teaching that in the webinar, at
In the
least the
webinar.
philosophy of it and the
Yeah.
approach, maybe not.
And then,
You-
and then I talk about the whole philosophy of if you can feel it, you can heal it. Like, what's the power of connection?
Mm-hmm.
Because connection is the currency for healing. We
Right.
don't know that really. Like, we know it in psychological realm, and we know it in, you know, some other realms, but we don't know it in the body.
Yeah. Yes.
That's
Okay.
really news.
Yeah.
If you can feel it, you
Yep.
can heal it. People
Right.
don't know that.
Yep.
And the third
Well,
one
right,
is
they're trying to not feel it.
Yeah.
they're
They
trying
want
not
to
to feel it, and
escape
for
from
good
it, escape
reason,
from the
and
pain.
for good reason. Like,
Yeah.
I really want to drive that home too. Like, look, we've had plenty of good reasons to not attend to this.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But here's what happens when you do. You actually compound the pain and the problem. Because if you can feel it, then you can start separating out the actual sensation with your protection of it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Which makes it worse. The protection makes it worse, which people don't know. and then taking tension out of it. It shouldn't be like, if you can feel the tension, like so shifting from attunement into, like using attunement, like, okay, let's say you have this tension. People are, oh, I always have this neck tension, right? Okay, well, let's flavor it. Let's flavor the tension because let's get playful. And when you increase the tension, you turn the volume up on it. Then the good news is, you can feel what you are doing to your body, and B, you've got your hand on the volume knob so you can turn it down. And then if you do that on a consistent basis, then there's that tool. So
Great.
does that give you, like, does that webinar, does that sound?
Yeah,
like
that
it's
sounds great.
beefy enough?
Yeah, and I
Okay.
trust your and I trust that it's more principle oriented, which is great.
Right,
And then you can give them light little practices for each of those, simple stuff
yeah, yeah.
that doesn't take away from your course, so that they also feel like you're giving them something to work with, or even a guided visualization in
Yeah.
that moment, right?
Yeah.
To take them in.
Trust.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah,
She
because-
can help me.
Yep. So
Yeah.
let's go to the course. So the course title. So that's a
Okay.
good setup. It's all, by the way, it's also essentially your philosophy for the whole body,
right,
which is awesome.
Right.
You're just going to focalize it on the neck,
Right.
So that's great. And you could even say that
Yeah,
in your
yeah.
thing. So you're seeding
This
it
stuff
for the
works.
futures.
Yeah.
For your whole system, your whole body.
yeah,
But we're going to focus because neck pain is so in our culture, in our computers, in our devices. So much happens to our necks. That's kind of how you play it
Right.
out.
Good.
But I think you really want to seed that this is for your whole body, your whole system. And then that allows them to not only say, oh, I'm going to get some great insights and tools to healing my neck pain, but it'll also open them to other parts of their body. I think, and Erin too, somewhere in there, if you can do your basic research on how many percent of people that have neck pain in our culture, so that there's a kind of a quality, like I'm starting here because it's epidemic or something like that.
Right.
I know low back pain is another one,
right.
right? People,
Much harder to do in this kind of format.
no, I know. I'm
Yeah.
saying, but what I'm offering you is in all this great stuff that you're offering,
Mhm.
see if you can make the neck a really important thing to be resolved.
Well, yeah,
Does that
there's
make
actually
sense?
a diagnosis called text neck.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because what happens is, once you take something out of alignment, the degree to which you take it out of alignment is the cost that it has for your body,
Right. Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
when we're texting, this is really difficult. Your body has to work really hard, not just to hold it there, but to actually change the structural
Right.
elements to be able to hold it there.
Yeah. Yeah. But you get where I'm coming is saying, because you're starting with this, the first one is if our neck isn't working, much of our system, particularly our brain, is not
Yeah.
working. Right. So I'm just wanting you to make this is not just, hey, we're going to do the neck thing and
Right.
we could do the toe, we could do a knee. But I really think that this will be powerful when you say
Yeah.
this is a starting point. If we can figure out the neck, you can begin to translate that into other parts of your body. And
Yes.
this is what starts to create that crackling aliveness when I'm no longer in 12 years of I can't hardly even move and I'm depressed and I'm down, all that. So
Yeah.
you know all that. So
Yeah,
the neck,
yeah.
So just bring some stats in, some things like that as well.
Okay.
I think will help. With everything you said was awesome, and just a little bit more of left brain stuff.
Okay.
So the next solution, I love. Anybody opposed to the next solution? I love it. I love it. A revolutionary approach to ending neck pain now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep. The or healing your neck pain safely and effectively.
They're both good.
They're both good. Okay. So here's the thing that Erin, that I'm opening up. The model keeps changing. Is you could easily have two headlines. Do you know what I mean? They're stacked. Shift Network does this on every course now.
Okay.
So if you want to play with, if they feel different enough, the two headlines need to be different but complementary. So they don't just say the same thing.
Okay.
So, so I don't know if that's strong enough as a second headline, but if you wanted to add to that, you could do this, and then also this as a second headline.
Okay.
Okay.
How do you all feel about that?
I'm sorry. That adding, we're in the subtitles here. If we use this, you would drop this into possibly another headline. I'm
Okay.
sorry, not as a change. People like this subtitle, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this is the one. But you could take this copy and put it into your headline or into a second headline.
Okay, so what have we got for the headline?
Let's see if we got the headline here. Okay. Discover how to move from trapped in neck pain to moving freely, doing what you love.
So to safely
See,
and
I would
effectively.
move safely and effectively down into.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
yeah. So safely and effectively move from,
Yep. How to
no, just not even how, do you need the how to?
uh,
Move,
discover.
so safely and effectively move from trapped in neck pain.
Well, how do you go from discover safely and
No, I'm saying,
No, get rid
Oh.
of.
yeah, discover how it goes out, and then, and discover how to goes out.
and
Just
just
start
safely.
safely move from trapped in neck pain.
okay. Let's do effectively. You want it effective, right? Or no?
Yeah. Safely and effectively move from trapped in neck pain to,
Well, I never underestimate these words. I know people think these are throwaway, but the brain reads these in a certain way. So
Okay.
for me, it sounds better. Discover how to safely and effectively move from trapped inside your neck pain to moving freely and doing what you love. So
okay, that's move twice, so that's.
yeah.
How about discover how to free yourself safely and effectively from neck pain.
Discover how to.
I mean, trapped is awkward there, but what, if I'm trapped, what I'm doing is freeing myself.
Right.
So-
Okay, so move, discover,
Let me try to get a new headline page here. So title, I'm just going to say is good. Subtitle is good as is, right? That you
Yeah.
have. And then headline.
headline is discover
How to free
Right,
yourself
how to
versus
free yourself.
replacing the trapped piece in
Right.
there. How to safely and effectively.
Because free,
Okay, how to free yourself safely and effectively. Is that enough since I've already talked about neck pain?
well, you can't just leave free yourself from what?
And
So
then, what was,
Safely and freely from.
that was this one. Sorry. One more. No, healing your neck pain safely and effectively.
The headline.
This one?
Yeah, yeah.
To moving freely.
Discover how to move.
How to
discover
free
how to
yourself
Free
from.
yourself
Safely and effectively.
safely and effectively.
And then almost it needs a from, free yourself from.
From,
Limitation,
From-
stiffness,
From-
comma, limitation, comma, because they're stiff is how they feel, but then what's the effect in their life is they're limited. They're stiff,
yeah,
they're restricted,
yeah.
From your, and we could just go from your stiff, limited, restricted neck. I mean, just calm. I mean, is that kind of awkward?
Yeah, it's awkward.
Yeah.
from stiffness and limitation. Free
Okay.
yourself from stiffness and limitation.
Okay.
Yeah, and then blah, 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 the movie part. And there's another.
Then
How to
to
doing what you love?
discover how to free yourself say from stiffness. I kind of had to throw pain in there again
I know.
because it had.
That's what it
It's
is.
all three of them. I mean,
Yeah.
it's really stiffness, pain, and
Yeah.
limitation.
Limitation or discomfort.
Discover how to free yourself safely and effectively from stiffness, and then.
Pain and limitation.
So you can, I mean, just, you can edit, I mean, you can edit this down, but so you can
Do what you love.
live, yeah, is it do what you love or just move and live and move with freedom? Because do we have move here? No, we got rid of it. So you can,
Move with ease. Return to ease. Reclaim your life. That's the
okay,
whole thing.
you can,
Return to ease and reclaim your life.
Return to ease and reclaim your life. That's very long.
that is long, but it's okay. Name your,
Oh, okay, now we can edit it.
Okay, discover how to, so how does this sound? The next solution, the revolutionary way to,
approach, a
the
revolutionary.
revolutionary approach to ending neck pain. Discover how to free yourself safely and effectively from stiffness, pain, and limitations so you can return to ease and reclaim your life.
I think you just take out safely and effectively, and you gotta find it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
and
think-
you
Yeah.
might want to change pain to discomfort, just to change something.
So there's not another, yep, yeah, that could be a good one here.
Safely and effectively, I don't.
Don't need it?
I think
Okay.
it's.
Take it out.
Discover how to free yourself from stiffness, discomfort, and limitation.
Because you
See.
just said transform it now in the subtitle above, so this is, it doesn't need that.
Okay.
Yeah, and there's, for the course, I know it's a little redundant potentially with the headline, I mean, with the webinar, but do you want something here that reflects that self-help or that self-healing approach.
Well, it's how to free yourself.
yourself.
So that's
For yourself,
put it
okay.
already.
All right,
And the safely and effectively can be put into the text lower down.
right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
If you feel you need to. Okay.
And in terms of the arc of the course, where you learn what you need to know and how you need to change your mindset to understanding the anatomical parts, to, is this clear enough? People who are not necessarily anatomically oriented, giving a 40-minute,
Yeah.
showing them this is how it is, this is
Yeah.
what you need to be aware of, this is how they talk to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third one is, okay, now we're gonna actually hold one while we move the other, like that concept.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Um,
By the way, this assembly hasn't grabbed me. I keep working with it as a third word. I
Yeah.
keep thinking of something like
Keep-
engagement.
Keep on it, it's an A, it's gotta be an A.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be an A. I know that you prefer it to be an A.
But assembly is not necessarily for other people to understand. I mean, I use it, but when I define it, assembly is how you put yourself together.
Okay,
Assembly.
assembling yourself.
Yeah, you assemble
Like building
yourself.
blocks, like the
Assemble.
building blocks of,
So
how
where-
I stand
How do you
and-
do that? And do you do it as well as you think you're doing it?
and I don't think she's going to teach that directly in the webinar. She's got the 3 other things that relate to it,
Yeah.
but she's got more accessible language. I think you missed that piece. She was giving you
Yeah.
that. So that's the
And I
underpinning.
understand, Lion, it's not an easy word for people to jump on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're
Word
using it
with,
in
I
your own
understand
way.
that.
It's cool.
But when I explain, like, assembly is how you put yourself together. It's like,
Yeah, are you
Mhm.
assemble
yeah, are you
yourself?
assembled, are you organized well?
Yeah,
So, yeah.
it makes sense when you say
because
it like
part
that.
of your method here is to define that word so people can use it in that
Yes.
particular way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just even use the concept, like they don't
Right,
need
I
to
mean,
use
but it gives them something to hang the concept.
Yeah, and the 3 A's makes it nice and neat, so,
Very
I
nice.
don't know, yeah.
And what I just wanted to think, if we're going to get safe and effective, discover how to free yourself from there's something about trap. You could use trap in here from feeling trapped in your stiffness, discomfort, and limitation. So it adds a little bit longer, but there's something about this idea that psychologically it's also feeling trapped in it. So,
From feeling trapped
yep,
here.
I'm feeling trapped.
Here.
Okay, I was just gonna. So I'm feeling trapped.
Sorry?
Do people say that? Is that?
That they're trapped?
Mm-hmm. Do that they feel trapped?
Well, pain is trapping, number
Right.
one, right? Pain makes you feel trapped in your life, like you can't, like, you know. The second thing is that when you can't move well, and it's so apparent in your neck when you can't move well.
So people come to you and.
I don't know that they would use that word exactly, but I think they feel it. Yeah.
Did
It would resonate with it.
Lion, so did Carista feel like just trapped? I mean, would that be, maybe not a word she used, but would she feel,
But I'm
trapped
also
inside?
not I'm not like the general.
Probably
Sometimes I have to back off.
she would relate to that,
My
right?
experience
Okay.
is not actually relevant right now.
You could ask her.
So just Aaron,
Yeah.
he said Carista
Yeah.
12, yeah, she could relate to that energy, even if
Yeah.
they don't say it in
That's
there.
what I'm thinking, yeah. They may not say it, they may not describe it that way, but the energetics of it are, you feel pretty trapped. Hopelessness also gives you a feeling of being trapped.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, and part of it is, we're trying to be intuitive and intelligent and help you here, but there's a point at which you have to go, wait a minute, I'm not your avatar, so my actual personal feelings
Right.
about this are not really applicable. That's what I was trying to sense here.
Yeah,
Is
yeah,
that
me too, yeah.
what people are saying?
Well,
Because I
again,
wouldn't,
it's not
but, yeah.
necessarily what they're saying,
Or
but it is a feeling,
Yeah,
yeah.
I'm just trying to get a sense of the avatar and pulling myself out of it.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would say that they would relate.
And it's hard, it's more direct, like free from, being trapped to freedom, but I also realize if you want to free yourself directly from stiffness, discomfort versus free yourself from being trapped inside that. So it gets a little heady. So I'm fine with whatever you think. You could test this with some of your people, remember, so for all of you, anytime you kind of come up with your title, subtitle, headline, send it out to a few people and get feedback, right? So I think you're close enough to just get some feedback from people that have neck pain that you know.
I'm just hoping this is actually gonna work.
Well, you mean the teaching of it or the
teaching of
yeah.
it, am I gonna overwhelm people by the anatomy? I'm only talking about, a handful of structures, so
Right,
I'm not really,
right.
not talking about the whole thing. And I'm gonna say, this works to begin your journey of unraveling some of the stuff. Yes, it'll work in the moment, but you've gotta work this, and, you know, once you understand the concepts, you can start really doing this. There are many other structures in the neck, the other 6 vertebrae that are, you know, they're part of this story, so they can actually cause neck pain. But the more you move towards alignment, the more your body, like,
I would like
4 weeks.
the talk on anatomy, even though I'm not
Yeah, I
a big
would
biology
too,
fan,
yeah.
but I think that it would help me start
Seeing,
deciphering and
yeah.
understanding where it's coming from,
yes,
the root.
Yeah, and as long as you're giving key practices
Yeah.
that daily things are supposed to do,
yeah,
that's their responsibility to
Yeah.
do them and use them. And so if you're doing that, I think it has great impact. If they don't do it, they're not, you know, if they just do it for 2 days and they're done,
right.
you have to be very clear about this.
Right,
You know, here's the
right.
time. Commit to 30 days or 2 months to this process to really see the shift.
Yeah.
I mean, the other thing is if you really do feel one of these chunks is too big for your 1 week, is one of the things one of the things I've learned from this 6 months is to not hesitate to break it into 2 weeks.
Right.
That it is too much to try to convey in this short time and to break it into 2 parts, even though in my mind it's 1.
Right.
Or in the same module, have a couple of different videos so they're not like downloaded too much.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
good.
And 4 or 5 weeks, I don't think would make a huge difference if you wanted to create some more space. But 4 is fine because that sounds really accessible and easy.
Okay.
And Aaron, we can tolerate a lot of more of the scientific stuff if you put it in an analogy so that it's like a car and these are the things you need and something that I'm already familiar with. And if you embed it in that as a metaphor, then it's a lot easier to take on all that new information.
Yeah,
Pictures
I
and
use the
stuff.
analogy of clockworks
Yeah,
a lot
yeah.
because it's so specific.
Got it, yeah.
Mhm.
Got it.
Yeah.
So any final questions, Aaron, that you have about this or want reflections back from the folks? Because I think your content's solid and it's just keeping it
Yeah.
both in the scientific realm as well as the new piece that you're bringing to it and practices. It's great. I mean, I think it's
And the webinar
solid.
does sort of, you know, create a baseline of understanding that you're responsible for your own
right.
like body.
Yeah. Yes.
Which is a big step for people. But once you sort of start doing that, okay, well now what can I do about it? Okay, there's this like let's move the moving parts appropriately.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And give them the tools to do that. Right. The actual practical tools. Yeah.
And you'll
Great.
know after 4 weeks, you know, you do your first one and.
That's right.
Okay, they got it.
That's my.
They liked it.
that's
You know,
always
it's
the-
like I need more here, I need less here. It's
This
like
will
just-
always be an
Right.
evolving. Thank you, April. This is an
Yeah.
evolving process. So you deliver it and you may realize, wow, it needs a little bit more, or
Yeah.
I need another week, or I missed this piece. So
Okay,
yeah,
and the pricing for it, I don't know.
that's what I was gonna say 4 weeks. It's that, you know, we talked about this. We don't want to undersell you, but we also want to get more people in your funnel.
Yeah.
So we talked about like $97 or
97
one.
or 149 is
Yeah.
kind of like what I was thinking.
90, we do a pre-sale 97 now or 147 after this date? So I try to get people in quicker, or the longer you wait, it goes up. Did we talk about that?
Yeah, it's, we don't-
I can't remember what you said about that, though.
Yeah, we do. I mean, just generally, you don't want to do discounting in
Yeah.
general. I mean, people do it.
Yeah.
You want to add more value. You want to keep adding bonuses or more value. But she could just say that she knows her price is always going to be 97 and just simply say that it normally would be 147 crossed out plus all these bonuses. I mean, you can play that game. And there are times where you could try it at 147. So this is definitely where you run one launch at one price and then you run another launch at a different price and just see how it goes, right?
Sometimes I feel like if something's being offered for 97, it means that the teacher doesn't value it enough.
Mhm.
It can't be worth very much. I mean, that's me because
Right.
I'm used to higher prices, but you know, it depends on your avatar, I think. But 97 might sound too cheap. On the other hand, it might sweep a lot of people in. It's 97. So
Right.
the value that you're providing, solving neck pain, that's huge. You know, it's painkillers sell for a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I would just be cautious about that. I
Mhm.
wouldn't go, personally, I wouldn't go below 147.
Okay.
Or, 129. It's gotta be over $100, I think.
Mhm.
You've
Okay.
got so much value.
Yeah, and then the way you add value is come up with really great bonus pool
Well, I
and
have
that
a
one's.
30-minute your Invincible Posture video, for example.
Great. And others, you'll need about 4 or 5 good bonuses. And that's all right. You interview people, and it's all in the materials of what are the options of interviews, ebook, video, all that. So just to remind you guys, it's all in the materials here that your bonus for your course is probably going to have at least 5. So you got to go figure out how to find 5, because you have an early registration bonus, 2 or 3 main bonuses. And that, you could have a few less if you want to keep it at 147 instead of 197 or whatever. But that's what, to Lion's point, what will help you with that 147 price is just having your best take at a good bonus pool. And the easiest way to do it, Erin, is so many cool people, you just interview them for 45 minutes. You could have 3 of those, literally.
Okay, I've got an audio
Different.
series of guided healing processes.
Great. You have a video on posture.
Video on posture.
Perfect.
Sort of, this is managing tension points.
Mm-hmm.
That could be either an audio or video.
Good. Yeah, you got it.
The posture thing. Another audio on upping your palpation skills.
Great.
And then a relaxation training or meditation, and then maybe an interview. And those are my ideas.
Perfect. That's great. And whatever, and just coming up with 5 or 6 that you say, yep, that's what I'm doing. And so that's what I'm saying. So I think if with a good bonus pool like that, you could definitely be at 147 is with the feedback they're giving as well. Partly the other thing too is 140, and you're going to be live when you first launch this, so that even potentially puts it even to 197, depending, so we can talk about that. Because definitely the 97 zone tends to be the evergreen product zone, where you're not involved at all.
Right, and I could actually, one of the bonuses might be a Q&A call.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yes.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah.
Because people are going to want to know, okay, well, what happens if this? I mean, when I was
Wait, weren't you going to do it when you launch this 4-week? Aren't you launching it as you'll be each week? You'll have a interactive Q&A, or you weren't planning on that?
Well, if I haven't, you mean beyond the?
Well, you'll have you have the course page, you have the videos, but you would be available for each week.
Deliver it live, is what you're saying.
You could.
I mean,
I don't know what your plan
First
is.
time, and then after that,
I could deliver
recorded.
it live
first time.
and then have Q&A on each call.
Right. That's what I'm saying. But if you wanted your videos to be the complete teaching videos, then they're just interactive Q&A. You don't have to teach on the calls. And it could only be 2 of them. It doesn't have to be every week. So the question mark is, how much live component do you bring into this first one? And the more live energy you bring in, the higher the price.
Okay.
And if you choose to just teach it on those sessions, then you don't have to, then the videos just become more tutorial videos, but you're actually
Right.
doing the teaching on the call.
Well, what I'm sort of thinking, because this is the first time, is actually working with people on the calls.
Mm-hmm. Right? I would call that an interactive Q&A slash group coaching, but yes.
Group coaching.
Yeah. So what a 90-minute call typically looks like, if you feel like your videos don't give all of the content, then teachers typically teach for 45 minutes and then roll right into that Q&A thing.
In addition to the videos.
If the videos are more like tutorial videos, not your full teaching. Does that make sense? Some people don't want to do that every video has got to do all of my teaching. I just want to give them this guided visualization and this practice, and then you teach on the calls. I think you want this to ultimately be an evergreen, so you should focus on the videos being your full teaching video.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Okay.
No? But that means more time and more energy and more scripting for you to say, for each of these modules, those videos each need to be 30 or 40 minutes long, which is a lot to, but I know you're good on video, you like being on video.
Yeah.
So that's something to think about. The way teachers get around that is saying, I'm doing it live anyway, so I'm just going to teach on that Zoom call
Right.
live.
Right.
And then the videos are just supplemental videos to support them on their journey.
Okay.
It's not the bulk of the teaching. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They're 10-minute videos instead
Yeah,
of
I'd say
40-minute videos.
I'd still break them up into 10-minute chunks, because watching a 45-minute video is a
Right.
lot different than watching 3 or 4
Right.
10-minute videos.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
So yeah.
So there's 10-minute mini lesson topics.
So it's just a question for you to ask, am I ready and willing to do all of my teaching in those videos broken down however you want, or do I want to just get out there, do it, teach it, and then I can add videos as I get better at the course? But that means you're live each week, and that means you need to have week 1 you're teaching it, week 2, and then the Q&A can follow after you're teaching.
Right. So if I did the videos as the teaching thing in 10-minute chunks, then I could just do 2 Q&A calls.
Exactly. If you want going out the gate. Now remember, there's a process here. You could, if that's too much, you just do it live, and then you keep reiterating to make it better each time and closer to an evergreen. So, and why I'm just saying that is the video work can be just as time consuming as you writing an outline and teaching it.
Yeah.
So you got to feel it. I'd rather have you launch than get overwhelmed. I like, oh gosh, because all that video work feels too much. Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll massage that.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens
Great.
with that.
All right, Erin, was this good, helpful? Great. Good job. Woo! Yeah, we forgot to give Lion applause too. Well done, Lion. Yay. All right, so who would like to go next? We might take a quick bio break. You want to go next? Great. Do you need a break before you go? You good? All good?
It's good.
Then while she's doing a break, let's get some of your, scripting. Okay. How are we on where's our time? Good? Good.
Titles, but we'll put the main.
Okay, James. And this is, let's do your webinar. Yeah, look at all. Jeez. Okay,
Breakthrough power tools.
Okay, breakthrough
Power tools.
Okay. Okay, and then so there's a subtitle to that.
The 7 best tools to cultivate your next breakthrough. Actually, okay.
Oops.
I'm deciding between that one or the science and art of cultivating breakthroughs.
And what's this one? The 7
or the 7 best tools to cultivate your next breakthrough.
the best tools. Yeah, let's try that. I like that.
First,
To
cultivate your next breakthrough.
okay.
And then we have the alternate, which.
Yeah, let's play that. Yeah, I'll put that in. So
We won't have to put that up there if we don't. We can just choose.
yeah, let's do this. Let's do that. And then you had the other one was what?
That one or the science and art of cultivating breakthroughs. I like the science part because I use
Yeah.
quite a bit of science in what I do.
Okay, great.
Okay.
And then headline.
And then the one below, what's the thing below?
Headline.
Yeah,
Headline.
is, okay. Discover, I have to change, but discover the 7 best tools to get unstuck.
So we obviously
I know
would
we'd
have to. Yeah.
change it if so,
Okay.
if
Yep.
we-
The 7.
Best tools.
Yep. Okay.
To get unstuck. Yeah, before I had discover a gentle, reliable path to get unstuck. So
To
it depends
get-
on which one I use.
Discover
To
the-
get unstuck, comma,
To get unstuck. Yeah.
heal your past, comma, and solve your problems, period.
And we need to work on that because we want a little more of the desired future state.
Yeah, I know, that's what
Yeah.
I'm concerned about, yeah.
Yeah, more of like what's
Yeah.
possible and I'm open,
Yeah,
more
no,
available.
it's
Yeah,
so-
okay. 7 best tools to
okay.
get unstuck, heal your past, and solve your problems. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay,
And then
and the
that's the
course?
course. Yep. Oh,
Breakthrough Adventure, which I own,
okay.
breakthroughadventure.com, breakthrough.
The or just breakthrough
Just
adventure?
Breakthrough
Okay.
Adventure.
Okay.
Now the alternate of that could be empowering breakthroughs. I own that too.
Okay.
So it'd be 4. I think I like
Somebody's got
Breakthrough
the-
Adventure. Okay. And then a journey to get unstuck and live the life of your dreams. It's the journey piece I'm going for. So I'm really
This is,
evolving it.
this is subtitle, right?
Yeah.
A journey what?
A journey
Mm-hmm.
to get unstuck and live the life of your dreams.
Yeah.
Or we could, so you can live the life of your dreams.
All right, dreams. Okay.
Okay. And then
And then the headline for this one.
a 5-week course to
Yeah.
cultivate the specific breakthroughs you need.
To cultivate. Yep.
The specific breakthroughs online.
Okay, yeah.
breakthroughs you need to connect to your inner wisdom, comma,
You need to connect what?
to your inner wisdom, comma, create success in your relationships, comma,
Yeah.
and evolve your life.
And
And
relation.
evolve your life.
Okay.
Crowd a minute before I see it on TV.
Okay.
And I have the week five, the 5 modules.
Okay. Do we want to do that? Let's see. Give me the placeholder. Yeah. Okay.
Means that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yep.
Okay, 1 is self and other. Seeing, hearing, and holding. Self and other.
Self and other. Okay, great.
Okay. Week 2 is foundational tools.
Foundational tools. Okay, for breakthrough or something. Is that what?
Mhm.
Foundational tools. Okay.
Week 3 is healing your past.
Okay.
It's actually heal your past.
Here. Oh, sorry.
Heal your past. Just
Okay.
without the ing.
Okay.
And then week 4, love your present.
Love your present. Okay.
Mhm. I'm not tied to.
Okay.
These are the ideas. Week 5 is restore your future.
Okay. And then where would the 7 tools, are they woven in through all this?
Yeah, there's 2 here, 2 here, and each one of these. So this is attuned presence and
Mhm.
transformational community. That's why it's self and other. So I had to figure out how do I pull these together to make 5 weeks instead of 7.
Mhm.
Attuned presence and transformational community.
Is that a tool, transformational community?
Yeah, totally. It's a very specific ways to use community to help you repattern your emotional dynamics.
Okay, great.
And then within relationship, which
Foundational
like Ryan
tools.
just mentioned. And then foundational tools is deep insight, which is basically how to get more clarity
Mm-hmm.
from your unconscious.
Okay.
And then that's actually, tool, yeah. And then advanced nurturing, so basically it's self-care. It's like house.
Advanced nurturing.
So those are the 2 with the foundation. You
Okay.
got self-care and you know how to get information. And then week 3, healing your past, it's committed to reparenting. It's basically inner child work.
Inner
So
child work.
committed to reparenting, yeah. That's what I call inner child.
Okay, and then
And
this
then
one
week
for
4, love your present is radical self-love.
radical self-love. Okay.
It's masculine, feminine work and energy in your body stuff.
Okay.
Week 5 is narrative medicine.
Narrative
Narrative medicine.
narrative medicine.
restoring, skilled restoring is what I call it.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Good. All right.
All right.
That's good. That's good to start. Yeah. Have a seat in the hot seat over here, or you're fine where you are if you want to be there.
The hot pan.
Yeah, there's better because I can be
Okay.
on this side.
Yeah.
All right. So let me say it out loud. If you guys want to, I'll read this. So webinar is breakthrough power tools, the 7 best tools to cultivate your next breakthrough, or the science and art of cultivating breakthroughs.
And the other thing I could do, instead of breakthrough power tools, we could do empower your breakthrough.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the power tools, although I tend to work a little more with women, even though I do a lot of men's work too. I don't want to alienate women by power tools. Does that alienate you at all?
I like power tools.
In my
Okay.
classes, I love it.
Okay, sounds good. Because I like the power tools.
I like power tools.
Yeah.
Lion, weigh in on title, and we have 2 options of subtitle: the 7 best tools to cultivate your next breakthrough, the science and art of cultivating breakthroughs.
So real quick, between these 2, does anyone think they like empower your breakthrough more than breakthrough power tools?
No.
Okay, so let's just cross that out.
Yep. Great.
That's easy. And then so breakthrough power tools, the 7 best tools to cultivate your next breakthrough.
Why do you
What
use
you're getting.
tools twice? Why not?
Well, yeah, and remember he's got a headline down here, so
Yeah.
I'm going to suggest that this goes away
Okay.
for now because you've already done a good job here. 7 best tools, and then this tool,
This
tools
was
and
the
tools.
second line. This was the
But it's tools and tools. You've just done
I agree.
tools.
Yeah.
And, so let me just ask it this way: do you guys like the breakthrough power tools, the science and art of cultivating breakthroughs?
Well, I'm trying to figure out breakthrough to what?
And
Mhm.
choice.
Yeah,
choice
me
breakthroughs,
too, and you
choice.
get breakthroughs twice, yeah.
Yeah.
Because what I do as a focus on, that's my thing, is the science of how do you go from here to something else, to the actual breakthrough moment. That's
How
what
about
I focus
transformations?
on.
Turnaround,
The science and art of
transformation.
cultivating transformations.
That would work, yeah, because I already have breakthrough up there.
I'm going to take a total left turn here because a lot of times the subtitle can really point toward the transformation more. So instead of trying to redo the whole breakthrough, what is the potential outcome for them? What kind of life is that?
Yeah.
So it could be breakthrough power tools, and then cultivating an authentic life. You know what I mean?
Part of the thing is there's different kinds of breakthroughs. There's emotional breakthroughs, which frees you
Right.
up from your past and from your conditioning.
Right.
There's insight breakthroughs where you get a new idea. So it depends on the type of breakthrough people are.
Right.
There's self-worth breakthrough where you're working with that. So that's why just pinning down to one specific result is hard, because what I'm really focusing on is you're stuck.
Mm-hmm.
You're stuck here, and I have a whole bunch of tools depending on where you're stuck. We might take you in and do inner child work, or we might work with presence and help you connect to the totality, the other part that's in your shadow. There's like a lot of different ways to go.
On the
But-
webinar though?
Well, what I'll do is just give them 7 specific tools. Basically, I'll teach them how to attune their presence, how to work in transformational community in a way so you're actually repatterning your emotional dynamics. You know, there's just-
Yeah, this is.
7 tools feels like too much for a webinar.
Yeah. And here's the thing: is that's the crux of your course.
Yeah.
You can't. Yeah.
Okay, well, my plan was to get them in touch with, that's going to work. That's the piece for me. So they kind of have a map, and then I set up for the course, and this is how to where we're actually going to learn how to do it. So just much like you, as your awareness, you're like teaching them the awareness. I'm basically teaching them, if you're stuck, here are the reasons why you could be stuck. Here are the possible avenues you could choose. The possible tools that are absolutely, that if you continue using this tool, you will have a breakthrough. If you continue loving yourself, if you really take self-love all the way, you will have a breakthrough. That is a reliable path.
Right.
But that's only one path.
So let me pause you and give you. There's a big challenge here. 2 big challenges, and you just got to be aware of it because she's bringing it up.
Sure.
Even going through those, giving your best effort to go through 7 tools
It's too many.
is too many.
Okay.
That's one. But second is,
So
I
I do-
really feel pretty confident that even if you're using the language of those tools that you're teaching in your course, which are so valuable, you are when you get to the offer in your webinar, the whole point of the offer is you start unfolding the course as a teacher.
Okay.
Remember, so you're going, hey, in session 1 in the course is boom and this, and you know what? You're going to have to say, session 1 in the course is this tool. Session 2 is these 2 tools. And now people are going, but you just gave me all of that. And the brain wants to run with it. It's going to go deeper in the course.
Sure.
They don't care about that. You've given me the tool, and now you're telling me the same tool is in the course.
Okay.
I'm not going to sign up for the course.
Okay, so
I
you
have
don't.
an idea.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you give 3 and you say these 3 tools are generally for these kinds of breakthroughs, and then you say,
3 primary different ones.
yeah, 3 primary ones, but you know what? If you got this kind of breakthrough, I've got more for you.
Yeah, I think 3. Give me 3.
You know,
I'll go deeper into it.
I'm thinking about the avatar and thinking,
Mm-hmm.
I have a problem. I don't know what it is, I'm stuck. You said I'm
Yeah,
stuck.
stuck.
right?
That's the
Stuck.
problem. That's what I'm focused on. The problem is I'm stuck.
Okay, then that should be in
Yeah.
the title, stuck.
Well, he's got it in
Yeah.
his headline, so there's
Okay,
places
okay.
for it. But
Yeah,
yes, I
alright.
get it.
So, breakthrough power tools, I'm not relating to it as an avatar. I'm not going, well, what does a breakthrough mean? I'm
Yeah.
not getting it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So, you know what
This
you
is
mean by
helpful,
breakthrough.
yeah, this is helpful, because that's my beginning teaching, is that if you want transformation, a breakthrough is required, a breakthrough from where you are, you need a breakthrough. Well, how do you support that? Well, you need some new information. Where do we get that? We get that from your unconscious.
I
Yeah.
get all that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm just telling you that a breakthrough power tool doesn't mean anything for me because I don't know all I know is I'm stuck.
Yeah.
I don't know that a breakthrough is required.
Yeah.
I don't know that I don't even know what a breakthrough is. I just know I'm stuck and I want to get unstuck, which you say there.
Yeah.
So I have a concern that you're trying to sell a tool instead of a solution to a problem.
Sure.
And I have the same issue
Yeah.
because I've sold the Belief Plaza process and all my processes as a tool set. It's like a multi-tool, right? A Swiss Army knife. But who buys Swiss Army knives? People don't go to the store and think
Sure.
I need a Swiss Army knife.
Sure.
They go to the store to buy shoes and they go, oh,
Yeah.
that'd be cool,
Yeah.
right? So I'm not getting that
Okay.
you've got the.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you don't see a value in You don't see, oh, I need a breakthrough. You're not sitting there thinking that.
No,
Yeah, I live in that world, so yeah.
I
Yeah.
understand, but
Yeah.
So
the
James-
avatar doesn't at all.
Yeah, it sounds, I mean, kind of going off this, it sounds
Mhm.
like what the webinar is the science and art of breaking through
Mhm.
whatever has you
Yeah,
stuck.
it's
Right, that's
Right,
correct.
but-
cultivating the moment, the
Right,
breakthrough
but,
moment.
but to not use breakthrough yet, if we go with what Lion's saying, is to not, maybe or maybe not
Mhm.
use breakthrough power tools, but the subtitle would be the science and art of breaking through
Stuck.
whatever has you
Mhm.
stuck, or however you wanna
Mhm.
say
Yeah.
that.
Mhm.
But then that's your webinar, is
Mhm.
this whole concept you
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
said to us, which
Yeah.
is, there's all these different ways of being stuck, and this is what it feels like,
Mhm.
that's the diagnosis, and
Mhm.
here's your remedy, and,
Mhm.
you know, what you need to do is be able to transform, you know, and then
Mhm.
that is the class,
Yeah.
right?
Well, you need
Because
to know where you
aren't these
are, you need to
power
apply the right tool to that type of stuckness.
Right, but see, but
Right,
I
breakthrough
sort
is-
of going through what Lion's saying is a lot of people don't realize they need to break
Yeah.
through, they just
Yeah.
want the thing that gets
They
them
just-
around the
yeah.
problem, they don't wanna
Mhm.
break through the problem,
Yeah.
right?
And
so
that's
it's like
where
you're
I'm in the
selling
whole
breakthrough.
of like, do I really have to niche to people who are anxious?
Mhm.
You know, I mean, I mean, this is, I guess, the big dilemma, right? I don't want to
Mhm.
niche to people who are anxious. I want to be able to come in and offer anybody who's stuck. I have a very reliable process that can get you unstuck,
Mhm.
and
Right.
that's what I'm trying to get. How
Right,
do
so
I?
the webinar sells breakthrough,
Yeah.
and then the course sells the 7 best tools for breakthrough,
Mhm.
right? Am I understanding, or am I not understanding?
Yeah, I mean, I,
There's a
yeah.
book called The Unstuck Process, right?
Mhm.
So that's the name of their process, the
Mhm.
Unstuck Process,
Mhm.
because that's very clear. It's like, I'm stuck, I wanna be unstuck.
Sure.
I don't,
You're not in
breakthrough
the
is
sounds
kind of
clear.
the thing that you would call it later,
Okay.
that I experienced getting unstuck, but it's not the thing.
Okay.
So
I
one
identify
way
it.
is you keep coming back to possible transformation. So one way to salvage breakthrough, for example, is breakthrough to what? So this could be the 3 keys to breaking through to the life you love.
Mhm.
See what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Now you're pointing
Yeah.
toward at least the possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Breaking through to the life you love is sort of like, yeah, and then they get to say, well, I am not there. I am stuck because I do want to be there.
Sure.
Then you use unstuckness somewhere else.
Okay.
But I know you like breakthrough, and I know that's just like the getting unstuck
I'm a breakthrough
process.
coach. Yeah.
But I think it's got to be more like breakthrough to something, in your words.
Okay.
And and then you could even separate the breakthrough so it's 2 words or keep it 1 word, whatever.
Mhm.
But does that land for you?
It is, and you know, I don't like breakthrough to brilliance. I just did that.
Right.
Brilliance isn't what I work with,
Right,
really.
right.
So, so I did try to play with that, and then
Mhm.
just trying to find it because I feel like I don't want too long a title. I want something that's 2 or 3 words.
Right.
You know.
Don't worry about the no, the webinar
Yeah.
title can be longer.
Mhm.
So we'll figure out the course title in a moment, but you can play the 3 keys to live it. You know, it can be a much longer title. It's fine.
Okay.
So, well, what do you guys think about something like The Life You Love? I mean, I know there's so many
Yeah.
different avenues of emotional, physical, but it's ultimately a life that I want,
Want.
the
Yeah, I
desire.
thought
Mhm.
of want versus love.
But does that, the
It
land,
just
because
sounds
it does,
kind of new
or,
agey and hokey. I mean,
Mm,
that's
yeah.
it
Well-
sounds soft. It sounds really
Webin-
soft.
but
I want-
breakthrough too,
Webinars are
isn't
kinda like-
It
Kinda
sounds
that
like
way.
an oversell too, this one
Yeah.
webinar is gonna get me to the
I
life
know.
I love, I don't think.
That's my concern.
well, then you
to
just
me,
teach the breakthrough, like you don't teach that they're going to get there. You teach the
It's
3
possible.
keys to, or the 3 secrets to, that it's possible. Yeah.
So Wilbur, if I said to you, if you're feeling stuck, it's because you need a breakthrough. And most people stay out of alignment with their life, and they get to a breakdown, and then eventually that leads to a breakthrough. You don't have to do it that way.
Yeah.
There's a different way to do it. You can actually cultivate ongoing breakthroughs in your life very consciously. That's the process I teach of how to, instead of waiting till you have a breakdown, how to actually scientifically pull out tools and create a life where you're cultivating ongoing breakthroughs in your life.
So that what?
So that
Yeah, what's the
so
outcome?
that you don't have to remain stuck. So you don't have to remain in a life that doesn't feel like your own, so that you get to actually have a life that is yours.
You just come, everybody's like poo-pooing it, but that's what you know.
To your life, not.
Whatever.
You know,
Yeah.
like, just.
But
best
your
life
but then
ever.
that doesn't work for me mentally at all, because then I already am I'm in my life now that
No,
I'm
I'm
not
in the
really.
life everybody else expects me to have.
Well, then you
I
got to
mean, I'm
speak
in
to
the life
that.
I think
Then your
everybody
authentic
expects
life,
me
you
to
could
have.
play
I'm
with
not in
authentic
my
life. So breakthrough to your authentic life, breakthrough to the true life for you, anything.
Yeah.
But
But I think part of it is also, I don't know, James, it feels to me, I may be
same struggle I did, which is that your course is your base skill set. And so what's the webinar then? Right, because it's your course.
Well,
is
this might be helpful to even to look at the course and see what the course is, and then see if the webinar needs to look different. Would that make sense?
Yeah, we could do that. I mean,
Because that seems to me to be
Yeah.
the problem that you're diagnosing, Chris, is that this is already selling the course.
to,
If I
yes.
understand
Oh,
what
yeah.
you're saying.
He's got to change the. We're just trying to figure out the whole breakthrough. I think right now we're literally. This is the course and the webinar. This is everything. How do we deal with his breakthrough verbiage?
Yeah.
That's kind of
Right.
challenging for the
But
course
who's
and
your
for the.
avatar? That's the thing, is breakthrough in the language of your avatar? I don't know who your avatar is, so.
Well, Carrie came in last time, so you got to
Mhm.
experience, and she's my avatar. So,
Mhm.
and that's yeah, she was feeling stuck. She was feeling anxious in transition. So a lot of the people I work with are in
Mhm.
transition because then they're open to learning a new skill
Sure.
set, and that they're far more effective that way.
But is
So,
breakthrough in their language at that point?
um,
Because that's
No,
what you're saying,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's
Lion?
not in
Yeah.
the language, they want to get wherever they are to where they
They
wanna
don't
go.
leave.
usually they're
stuff.
lonely,
Mm.
and their relationships aren't working, and they feel like a failure, and they are embarrassed because they're not further along.
So
Mhm.
3 keys from moving or 3 keys from loneliness, isolation, and transition.
Because it totally
Something-
works
I
with
don't know.
loneliness,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so loneliness that's the
Mhm.
problems people want to solve. Loneliness, right?
hmm
Um,
But it's disconnected from self,
Mhm.
and
That's
it's
not-
feeling like a failure.
feeling like a failure and loneliness are things people want to
Okay.
solve,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
People are disconnected from themselves, don't really know
Know that
what.
what the problem is, they just know they don't feel good.
They just
Yeah.
know you don't,
Right,
yeah.
they
that's
they
why
don't
a
walk
breakthrough.
around saying, I'm disconnected
Yes.
from myself, that's
A
not.
Because they say that after they're working with me, before that.
So just remember in the title. I mean, you want to be.
Disconnection to connection.
You want to be in the aspiration, folks, in the title and subtitle. So that's why I'm going to keep
Well, I've
coming you
got
back.
How
If
about if we just pull from that, the aspiration?
sure,
Okay.
but I think you've already said it
okay.
because they asked
Okay,
they
that-
asked you that and you said that they want this life that they love and that they
Okay.
like, they're authentic and all that. So
Okay. To be seen, heard, and valued by others while being authentically self-expressed and successful in relationships and finances. But
I mean-
again, that seen, heard, and valued by others, that was after she was working with me.
yeah, and those are deeper things that you
Yeah.
can put in a headline or your copy. But what I keep coming back to, and I know there's so much of this is so used out there because there's only so many words, right? So you're saying authentic life, a life that is
like
exciting
your
to
own.
you, a life of your own. That is what you're helping people break through to.
Yeah.
So I know it doesn't help to go away from breakthrough too much because you're the breakthrough coach, and if it's just the kind of be it less don't be lonely, don't be that's just I'm trying to figure out a way to save breakthrough
Yes.
for you, and the only way I can see it right now is a breakthrough to what?
Okay.
Does that make
Okay.
sense? And then it's aspirational. Yes, in the copy we can paint where they're stuck and how do they get unstuck and all that. But I'm trying to figure out both for this and your course,
Yeah,
how do we
course, same
solve
problem.
breakthrough?
Yeah.
What if it's something, what if the title of the course is something more like awaken your breakthrough power, your breakthrough skill, your breakthrough
Yeah.
I like that,
instinct.
actually.
Mhm. For the
innate
course, yeah,
breakthrough,
absolutely.
Something like that,
Yep.
where the webinar is about awakening your
Yeah.
capacity for breakthrough.
That is
Mhm.
where I'm good, is I actually know the tools
Right.
that people are not using
Mhm.
that
That are
actually
innate
can
to
actually
them.
have an effect. Yeah.
And so how did she say it so I can capture it up here? What'd she write?
Awaken your breakthrough power.
Awakening your breakthrough. And I don't know if it's power, I mean,
But something, yeah.
something like that there.
Yeah, I'll check that out, because what I want is, I want to install a skill set in them. Is what I
Being
want.
able to
I
do
want them
breakthrough,
to
like
have a
consistent.
skill set of being able to do, to actually know, okay, I start with my breath, I go in, I work with the sensations, there's a lot of those, similar to the work you do. I want them to be able to do that, because once they start doing that on their own, they start popping and having future breakthroughs. Until they do that, they rely on me to facilitate it for them.
So where you could go with this then is to keep breakthrough as somewhere that's kind of positioning it as something you need to have. Then in the webinar could be the 3 keys to the power of breakthrough for a new life, or so, you know what I mean? And it's
Yeah,
fine to be
makes
that
sense
long.
to me. That makes sense.
So that it gets around Lion's saying is now I'm saying that
like-
there is a power to breakthrough,
Yeah.
and then to something, you just tease it a bit there, and now you're introducing it as the unstuck process. Does that make sense? Like
Yes.
the breakthrough
And introducing
process.
as, hey, nobody's talking about this, but this is an important skill set if you want to be able to evolve your life.
But what's
Yeah.
important about, what I hear you saying, James, is for you, it is a science and an art.
Oh, it's
Mhm.
You have a
absolutely
repeatable
science and art.
science
Totally.
and art
There's a
to
form. It's not really a
breaking through.
formula as much as pieces and tools. Like, oh, I'm going to use this toolbox, and I'm going to go in this
Right.
system. Or I'm going to
So-
use this method,
so
do
it's
some
like-
inner child work.
So I think this subtitle works if you just say the science and art of breaking through
Mm-hmm.
any stuckness or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And it sounds like Breakthrough Power Tools is really the name of your course, though. Not your webinar, but your course.
Yeah, it could be either one. Actually,
And-
it could work for either one. Well, my
Because
my-
you're not gonna give them the power tools.
Yeah,
in
my
the webinar.
course is Breakthrough Adventure, is what I was naming it because I own that, and because I want I've evolved it into more of a journey.
Mhm.
So I actually take them into the breath, I take them into guided visualization journey, put them in an altered state, because that journey it's a little more fun that way
Mhm.
and more effective.
I would like to see you put somewhere where it's solving the problems of loneliness.
Mm-hmm. That can always be in the headline.
Yeah.
That can be here.
That's where that's.
Yep.
Anxiety had,
So you want to get more specific.
loneliness, anxiety, because that's where people will pop up, and
Okay.
so, okay,
Okay.
there's anxiety, loneliness, and feelings
Okay.
of
You could
failure.
also, you can do that at the
Yeah.
top of your text. Lonely, question mark, anxious, question mark,
That
feeling
is, yeah.
Stuck.
question mark,
Yep.
Sure.
You can use those.
disconnected, question mark.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We've got a solution for you.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, in this top part, you're right, because the copy can bring a lot of that in, and to solve the whole breakthrough, because you brought up a great
Yeah,
point.
thanks,
And
man.
I'm
I appreciate you guys have good feedback.
so how about but just we can
Okay,
come back
so
to the
three
course.
keys.
Yeah. So just playing with it. The three
to
keys.
the power of breakthroughs to change your life. I'll play that. Breakthrough. Okay. So
How about just the power to change your life? I mean, that's true empowerment, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Again, breakthrough is not a concept that people think I need that. I keep coming back to that.
The
The power of changing your life, people, oh
Mhm.
yeah, wow, if I had the power to change my life,
Mm.
that'd be really cool, because then I can change my life.
So it's good for me to hear, because for me, people do know they would need a breakthrough because they feel stuck. But it sounds like that's not true for you
They
guys.
just know they're stuck,
Wow,
they
okay.
want it, they don't, yeah. Like,
Yeah, I've been like,
breakthrough is
Yeah, I'm in it.
something you say afterwards, wow, I had a really great breakthrough.
okay.
It's not something people look
People
for.
aren't cultivating breakthroughs. Okay, got it. That's good. So
Yeah.
that just lets me know my work is, I have work to do. Okay. Ready?
So yeah, I guess
Three keys to the power to change your life, and the secret and art of cultivating,
you could still do this breaking through here, the science and art of breaking through your unstuckness. I mean your stuckness, not unstuckness.
yeah, that's clean, actually.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Three keys to the power to change your life, the science and art of
Breaking
breaking through to your
Your-
breaking through your
Making-
stuckness.
The three
Using
power
the
changes.
power
Yeah,
of
yeah.
cultivating breakthroughs to change your
No.
life.
No,
No,
that's
the
too.
power to change your life.
Yeah, power. Okay.
Or if you want to,
Yeah.
use your tools as powers, you could actually play off it as the three powers for changing your life, almost like a little bit of a superpowers. But it's instead of saying the three tools to change your life, it's the three powers.
Three cool
Superpowers
keys
to
to the
change.
power of breakthrough to change.
Yeah,
your life.
it is.
Yeah,
That's
okay, I'll
why.
play with it.
I mean, a little.
Okay. All right.
But
And
but
so
let me just
good
capture that
feedback.
as the. Let me just play with this and see what you guys get feedback here. Three powers for changing your. Now, changing your life doesn't always. This is always that catch-22 is it's not empower. It's not like
Yeah.
to your authentic life or to it's just I can change my life by just walking out the door and taking a different street to
That's
to
not
my
how people
restaurant.
think about it, though.
I hope they think about it as positively changing my life. You think so?
Yeah,
Okay.
I do.
So what about the short, the three powers for changing your life? And then he's got to come up with the three sort of mindsets or breakthrough tools that are not the seven.
For me, it goes back to the webinars order self. Like, I
This-
don't believe.
The three powers for changing your life? If
Yeah, in a
Sounds too
webinar,
bland,
a free
yeah.
webinar, yeah, right,
Nobody's
Yeah.
teaching the three powers, not that they're going to change their life after the webinar. They
The
could.
three
But.
keys to the power
Yeah.
breakthrough.
I would say the
to
three
change my
power
life. I go,
tools
oh,
for
okay.
changing your life, but I don't like powers. I
Okay.
like to do the three power tools for changing your life.
Power tools, yeah,
That works
that
for
works.
me.
And I would take out the, if you're gonna do that, three power tools, because you don't have the
Changing.
keys to the kingdom, right?
Yeah.
Right.
3 power tools to change your life.
Or for changing your life.
I like,
For-
Yeah, I like
I like
that.
to change.
3 power tools to change your life.
Or,
Well, I
or,
think-
I like
Changing.
4
You guys
changing.
don't like for changing?
or changing.
No,
Three-
to change.
I
to
like-
change-
3 power tools to change your life. It's simpler.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
or to transform your life.
That's
Rather
better.
than
I like
change.
transform better. To transform your life. Yeah.
Transform.
Okay.
That's better.
Because if you're talking about breakthrough, you're talking
Yeah.
about transformation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
3 power tools to transform.
And then in your subtitle, you can keep breakthrough. So you guys are liking the science and art of breaking through your
Your
unstuckness,
stuckness.
or your stuckness. I keep saying unstuckness.
Yeah,
James, do you
Yeah.
have 3 power tools that you can do in the webinar that doesn't ruin your class?
Totally.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I totally do that. Yeah.
Or just again that higher order
It's
of
a higher level.
a higher
There's
level.
a lot of, there are
Exactly.
toolboxes and there are a bunch of tools in each one.
Right.
But like attune your presence is a toolbox, but there's a lot of different ways you can do that.
Okay.
So
Great.
it's
Great.
and then the headline is discover,
You might have to shift this from unstuck. Discover a simple discover a simple approach or process to healing your past, solving your problems, and opening to an authentic life. This is where you might
Yeah.
need authentic life, a life you
Yeah.
love. You know,
Mhm.
here.
Discover the
Mhm.
path. I like the path with your journey and your.
Yeah.
You could also go crude. 3 power tools to kick your ass.
to kick your ass into a better life.
Yeah.
That's right. Drop kick me, Jesus, to the goalposts of life. That's not
I
gonna
love
solve
it.
I know.
I worry about the headline. Like this headline feels more closer to the course, so I want to be clear
Yeah.
that discover the 3. I don't even know if you use 3 again, but I wouldn't like to get fully
I
unstuck,
can
heal your
limit
past,
this
and solve.
more and not
yeah.
make it quite so big.
Right, because these 3 things are pretty big, and those are
Got it.
more for the course.
Exactly.
These 3 are actually for
Yeah,
the
okay.
course.
I'm gonna
Okay,
take
so
it
the
out.
okay.
So it doesn't get
Discover
lost
how to
in there.
get on the path.
So now that you know that, and it's really much more general as that big gateway, right? So this is where obviously all the traffic's going to his webinar first. Nobody knows about the course. But now in the webinar, he's delivered what he needs to deliver and talking about the power of breakthrough, right? So he gets to position it now as a tool and a skill set. So what are these things, like between awakening your breakthrough power, your breakthrough
Shut up.
adventure?
Your breakthrough adventure, because I own breakthroughadventure.com, and I also own empoweringbreakthroughs.com. So those are possibilities.
I like awakening your breakthrough power.
I like that too.
Mm-hmm.
Awaken your break, because that's a skill set that
Yeah.
I'm giving to them.
It's action
and,
verb.
yeah.
Do you also own Breakthrough Journey? Is that available?
No, Breakthrough Journey is not available. No. I wish.
Oh, on breakthroughjourney.net. I mean, there's always a way
I mean,
around.
yeah, I go around it, but then when someone puts it in, it's going to go another coach's
Not
website.
necessarily, not when you put in the link. You always put in your link.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they're gonna click on your link. They're
Sure.
not necessarily.
Do you tell us about Journey?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not
But
too
I
worried
like
about
Breakthrough Journey
URLs.
too, yeah. But I am worried about domains, so
Well, 'cause
What's your-
you said you're
Yeah.
taking people on a journey.
yes.
And adventure is interesting, but it has different
I
connotations.
know it does for me too. I mean, originally I got it for my trips that I lead people on.
That's the sort of thing that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
we call it
Yeah.
adventure.
Exactly.
And don't worry about the URL. It's more important that you get the right messaging. Like Launch Academy is used by like 4 different organizations.
Okay.
If Journey fits for you, then it's breakthroughjourneycourse.com with any number of things. So I always add course to something, and
Okay.
it's available always,
Okay.
almost always. So
Because
why
Breakthrough
do
Journey
you
fits really well
Right.
with what I do. I take
Right.
people on that journey. So.
Yeah.
So, and I would personalize it, frankly. I would actually say your breakthrough journey would be the title instead of just
Okay.
breakthrough journey. There's a power in positioning it. So if you went to Journey, so Lion, your feedback, awakening your breakthrough power or your breakthrough journey, what do you like?
Well, it could be a journey to awakening your power to break through anything.
That's long. You want to
I know, it's too loud. You're just saying that out loud, right, to get your,
so
yeah.
brainstorm.
Yep, yeah. Remember the subtitle, we haven't even got to that yet. They all kind of float together,
It could
so.
also be empower your breakthrough.
Mhm.
Ah.
No?
No, you don't
Really?
like that? Empower your breakthrough?
I don't like empowering breakthroughs either.
Empower's overused.
Consciously creating breakthroughs to empower your life. Because that's what you're doing.
It's a good
I'm
headline.
consciously creating this.
Subtitle.
I just like create breakthroughs to transform your life
Say it
without the
Okay.
conscious.
Say it
That'd be
again.
good for subtitle.
That would, yep.
Creating breakthroughs to, what did we just say, to,
I use cultivating breakthroughs.
yeah.
This is what we're doing, we're cultivating it by doing specific practices.
Awaken your breakthrough power is good. I like awaken rather than awakening.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
Your
journey in the
breakthrough power.
subtitle.
Yeah, journey could be.
Yeah.
I'm leaning, I'm keep feeling into it, so I keep listening and feeling into it. I think I'm leaning that way too. And I was trying to play with just your breakthrough journey and then changing journey to something else here. It does feel like breakthrough journey is feels hard and long and arduous.
Oh, really?
Just
journey is
energy.
exciting for me, but you're right, some people may not feel that.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
okay.
adventure's a little lighter than that, but
Breakthrough
there's
power feels more empowering.
yeah, more empowering.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
but that's
Awaken
one-
your breakthrough power sounds like a legitimate online course.
Yeah.
to me.
What do you think? Are you
Yeah.
feeling in that
Yeah.
too?
Yeah,
Okay.
I like it too.
I like it.
Okay, awaken your breakthrough power.
Okay. So now, once you feel that, yep.
And then the subtitle, A Journey to Get Unstuck and Live the Life of Your Dreams.
Yeah.
A 5-week online course to cultivate the specific breakthroughs, because they're different for each
Right.
person, the specific breakthroughs you need to connect to your inner wisdom, create success in your relationships, and evolve your life.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty close. That's an 80.
And then-
This
and
is
then
an
in the
80
text,
percenter.
Lonely, anxious,
Right.
in
Right. Yeah.
transition.
Yeah. Right.
Yes,
Lost.
exactly. Got
Yep,
it, and I got
right.
those.
Yeah.
So then this becomes really important to me now because I think this is pretty close. I think we're liking this, and I'm just trying to feel into this because it didn't quite land. It's a little long for a
It's about the
subtitle.
science and art of,
Well, you have that for your
Yeah.
webinar. Do you want to just kind of leave that in a
Well-
webinar or pull it here?
maybe I might want to pull it here.
No, I think that's a great one for this. I'm going to introduce you to the concepts of all this. I think
Okay.
this subtitle needs to be much more. This will happen
Okay.
for you.
Got it. So I want okay, I got cultivate there.
Well, this
I,
is
I would almost say journey. I know we all like journey, but if we simplify this, I would be saying something like getting unstuck to live the life of your dreams.
Stuck and live the life of your dreams.
That's good.
Or get unstuck so you can live the life of your dreams.
So the only problem in the subtitle is you want it to be really tight, not a so that and that.
Okay.
So what is it? Yeah.
Okay, so get unstuck
And live the life.
To
and
live,
live the,
or to live the life.
Yeah, that's kind of what I want it to flow. So get unstuck to live the life of your dreams. Is that it? And I always kind of struggle a little bit with the redundancy of live the life of,
Yeah.
but live the life.
To live your dreams.
or
Yeah.
live
Dream
your life.
life,
Dream-
but
live your
that's
dream
that's
life.
overused a lot too.
Yeah.
The life of your dreams is too.
For you, it's the neck of your dreams. Get unstuck to live the neck of your
That's
dreams.
right.
What do you guys like as a short? And get unstuck to live your dream life. Is that too weird? Or get unstuck to
To fully live.
getting too long.
Fulfilled life. Get unstuck.
unstuck.
The life
Live.
of your dreams is a little.
Yeah, I know.
Passe.
Yeah.
Technically,
Yeah.
Well, you say it all in the headline.
Get unstuck to, I'll find out something to do. Get unstuck to blank.
Yeah, and you could go. I haven't seen anywhere
live love full.
where you used authentic, and you keep coming back
Yeah.
that so much is that authentic me that shows up.
Live and love fully.
Unstuck.
Yeah,
Get unstuck to live and love fully, that's what mine said.
to live and love fully.
Or
Yeah,
fully
often do
engaged life too. I'm gonna be engaged.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I like authentic too.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
And-
It's like to
Well,
live.
back to
And
our
find your
aspiration.
authentic self.
Yeah, to be seen, heard, and valued by others while being authentically self-expressed and successful in relationships and finances.
Get unstuck and find your authentic
I think
self.
self-expression.
Get
I like that. April. Say it again.
Yeah, I'm writing
Get
that.
unstuck and find your authentic self. I don't know, and find.
And that's right.
Live,
So
get unstuck.
to find
To
your
live
authentic,
your authentic self.
or to live, either one. Find or live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a
or
good-
life instead of, so that's live in life or authentic self. So get unstuck to live your authentic life or to live your authentic self in the world.
Live your authentic self.
Is that what your avatar would say?
What my avatar would say is that she wants to feel connected to herself, seen, heard, and heard by others, and to be fully expressed, and also to feel calm and safe.
Wow.
So I'm thinking of Rick Hanson's, the three basics for the brain is we want to feel connected, we want to feel safe,
Yeah.
and we want to feel, what's the
Mine's safe, loved, and worthy. So safe, loved, and valuable.
Connected.
Safe, loved, and valuable are my three things I work with.
Right.
But do people recognize that?
Yeah, that's the thing is, I don't think they think, oh, like the people who are control freaks don't realize they don't feel safe
Right.
a lot of times.
Right,
You know,
'cause
they
they're
don't
busy
always know they need to feel
making sure
safe.
they are.
Yeah, it's unconscious. So, but it's
Yeah.
safe, loved, and worthy. If I get unstuck, feel safe, loved, and worthy, or safe, loved, and valued.
But your avatar said she wanted to feel connected
She
to
did.
others, right?
Mhm.
Connected to herself, connected to others.
Yeah.
A lot of that can come in the copy and a lot of that can come in the headline.
Yeah.
But I think the whole picture of that is, again, what's the transformation? There's all these other pieces, but it's living a fully expressed, authentic life, right? I mean, isn't that the ultimate thing with more connection? I mean, all the other things are like pieces of that.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to look for, even if they don't necessarily think it every day, when you point to it, it's like, yeah, I want to be fully
Well,
expressed
they're
and
usually
authentic.
stuck. Either they're emotionally stuck
Right.
in some way that shows up in their relationships, or a lot of times their career stuck and their purpose. That's what your man on purpose does. So those are the two like big things that people tend to work with.
Yeah.
And that comes down to relationships.
Well, I think then there's something just here with playing with fully
Yeah.
expressed, authentic. So it could be get unstuck to live your fully expressed life.
Yeah.
Get unstuck to live your
I like that. Fully
authentic.
expressed sounds better because authentic, it's overdone a little bit.
Yeah,
To live your fully expressed life.
fully expressed.
Get unstuck
And
to
fully-
live your fully expressed life. Okay.
And And then I sometimes like the ing. So right now you've got to awaken your without the ing, awaken your breakthrough power, getting unstuck to live the fully expressed life, to live your fully expressed life. There's something about the getting that helps me a little bit than just. There's almost a command to get unstuck, but get unstuck to do versus there's a process to this. It's getting unstuck to live the
How
life.
to get unstuck.
Yeah, and you don't want to how to here. That would be the headline still. Discover how to, you know.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, but I appreciate you guys' feedback.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Good,
Very
helpful
helpful.
enough. Yeah, I think you got your content's fine. I trust your content. We went through that, and I love that you've got all the tools built in here. Oh, the other thing is, yeah, in here now, because it's not in your webinar, in the headline, instead of a 5-week, you could discover 7 effective tools to blah blah blah. You could use the 7 tools here as well instead of the 5 weeks if you
Got it.
want.
You
Okay.
can use power tools too.
Oh, yeah. Right. Okay.
All right.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Good enough.
Thank you,
Great.
everybody.
Do you want all of these? Did you want the
Yeah, please.
course outline too? Yeah. Could do yours. I'll get yours at lunch. We're about to go to lunch and stuff. All right. Want them now. Great. Where is my? Here we go. All right. So let's see where I think we've been. 3 at 3. Have we been through 3?
Yeah.
Great. And so we are very close to. How are you guys doing? Just energy-wise, ready for a lunch break shortly here? Okay, great. For those who've gone, any questions that are coming up for you in terms of the next steps? You know, like how to take the notes here. You guys all clear on? Yeah, Aaron.
I guess the next thing I would do is actually write out a script for the webinar. Is that the next
Yep.
thing?
Yeah. So you're clear on those 3 pieces. So now you write a script for yourself as well as the copy for the page itself. So those are the 2 pieces. The page copy is somewhat easier than actually your script for the whole webinar, because you're going to just use your title, your subtitle, your headline, and then about 200 to 300 words to describe.
Right.
Using the same formula, but just very light. The formula is some aspiration, or you could start with questions. You know, we've talked about that dilemma. Do you start with questions that engage people, but ultimately that aspiration, but the problem gets in the way. Diagnosis could be very light, and then the solution is this webinar. It's so pared down. Do you know what I mean? Like 1 or 2 sentences for each of those gets you your 300 words. And you know, feel free. You know, Lion's page had a lot of copy, a long copy. So just trust your instinct. It doesn't. You don't have to force it into. It's got to be 200 words or 300 words. Just trust what you need to say. Then the 3 bullet points of what you're going to teach. So then you actually bullet point those and name them. You know, here's the 3 keys are. You know, the 3 A's, if you will, or your variation of those. And then you know, your bio and some testimonials, and that's it. Yeah, pretty simple. It should be like a scroll. You've seen a lot of examples, but like a 1 scroll and a half kind of thing down the page, so it's not...
But that's in our resources.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, just wanted to reiterate that, though.
So the aspiration, pain, problem, diagnosis, solution, promise, future state.
Yeah, and then the promise, future state, all that can be all dumped into one thing, basically, right? Which is in this, because you're doing less of a promise in the webinar. It's more just, this is what's possible for you on the other side.
And then from that is your 3 objectives.
The 3 keys,
3
or whatever.
keys,
Yeah, yep.
And then
Which you can actually,
testimonials.
that's your solution. You know, so remember you just
Oh,
said
that's the
diagnosis, solution. In this webinar, we'll
In
teach you these things, and then you end with the transformation or the desired future state. Okay, great. And that's how you, and then of course the course sales page. It's all in the materials, but same process, just expanded more.
This is
a lot more.
module 4?
4 and 5, yeah, 4 and 5, but mostly 4, yeah. Great. All right. Any other questions? And then otherwise we'll talk logistics. We've got actually just 2 more folks left, so which is perfect because you know we have 2 slots for the afternoon. You 2 are getting all excited, I'm sure, over there, right, Christina and April?
Bubbling.
I am.
Right. Yay.
Bubbling.
And so let's talk about lunch. Do you guys want to all go out to lunch together? Do you have things to do? What do you? I was thinking of just going to the Joinery, which is just down the hill. It's great food.
What is it?
But
What is it?
it's just like salads and good sandwiches and pretty inexpensive. Good view. So does that sound good? We're all doing that? All right. Yeah. Question?
We need a dry cleaner.
There is a dry cleaner right down the street, but
Can
do
they do
you?
it in Monday?
Probably not. I mean, you mean
Well,
to come back
Saturday.
tomorrow? You could put a rush on it.
Hey,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll walk right by it and you can ask him. Yeah.
don't have to do it in-house.
All right. So yeah, well, let's just get whatever gear we need. We'll head down and have lunch, and then I'm sure there'll be some time. We'll walk. Let's walk. It's nice,
Yeah.
nice out.
Walk.
Can I have my pages?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's get you your pages. The next solution.